Hello and welcome to Wednesday. How are you doing today? How are you doing? Tell me in the comments below. It's April 29th, 2026, everybody. 1 o'clock Central Time for We Grow Wednesday. Myself and Tala will be getting into it, and we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff and things that have to do with you. That's right, you. Your health, your wellness, my health, my wellness. We're going to get into it in just a few minutes. Let me play a little intro song for you. Let us get the party started and hit the like buttons and all the stuff and things. And we'll be right back, guys, in about 4.5 minutes. Let's grow.
Scrolling through the noise, stories hitting hard, cutting through the void. Big Uck pulling strings, poison in the feed. What they're selling us ain't what we need. Posting articles, lighting up the screen. Common struggle shared, know what I mean. Time to wake 'em now, see the hidden game. We grow Wednesday, hey! Stop and look around. We grow Wednesday, plant it in the ground. Grow our own, break the chains, rise up strong. Knowledge in our veins where we belong. We grow, yeah, we grow. Every soul gotta eat, fuel the fire inside. But the cause of twisting truth, trying to hide. Processed lies on shelves, stealing our health away. New tech coming fast, showing us a better way. Community talking, sharing what we find. Self-sustainable minds, leaving change behind. Digging in the dirt, or digging for the truth. We grow Wednesday, hey! Stop and look around. We grow Wednesday, plant it in the ground. Grow our own, break the chains, rise up strong. Knowledge in our veins where we belong. We grow, yeah, we grow. No more blind, no more fed their lies. Hands in the soil, fire in our eyes. From seed to strength, we're taking control. Empower the body, empower the soul. Wednesday rolls again, gather round the feet. Health and wellness news, planting every seed. Growing food ourselves, growing who we are. Better versions rise, shooting for the stars. Big Food's empire cracks. We won't bound time. We grow Wednesday. Hey, stop it on Wednesday. We grow Wednesday.
All right, we're back, and I actually, it was crazy. I got ahead of everything. Got all my buttons clicked and stuff tight. It was wow. I was like, wow, actually doing more than I normally do. Anyway, guys, it's We Grow Wednesday. The 2 days left of the month. It is volunteer month, April, and we voluntarily had all sorts of storms and tornadoes, didn't we? We are going to talk about it. I know there's a lot of there's probably some death and some a lot of destruction going on. So it is sad, but we're going to try and find out what's going on. But we're also going to look at what else is happening in the world. We got Tala with us, trying out some newfangled gadgets. We didn't talk about it yet. We just started talking, but those are really cool. How they like use your bone, the vibration. What is it called? Can you tell
And the
everybody?
band goes around the back. It's bone conduction.
Bone
But we
conduction.
were having trouble with the mic,
Mm,
so I'm not sure yet.
yeah.
We'll
Where'd
see.
the other little
It,
mic go? Oh, it's already
yeah,
going to hide
kind of
on you.
high.
Joe Horzo, what's
But
up,
as long
man?
as it's working, we're good.
Yeah, right.
As long as
It's
I
it's
don't have
always
to start playing
something
making
as long as we
noise,
can
you
be
know.
heard. Yeah. Well,
Um, I'll find the cord for my big expensive one later. But
um,
this finally this doesn't pinch. The band is very light. It just goes around the back. They just set right there. Yeah.
for audio, it's probably amazing the way that it comes in. It like goes into your head that way. Just gotta,
Well,
and I
that
know
and
that.
like the big deal with the laptop is that because you were getting some feedback from the speaker
Mhm,
because the mic and the yeah all in
too
one place.
close.
That was a
Yeah.
problem.
hmm It
So I kept
is.
having to turn it down.
Well, and I don't know how long they've been doing this, but the military, like special forces, for quite a while, like longer than before, like the uh, civilians have had the technology, have been using that kind of technology, the vibration instead of going into the eardrum,
Yeah.
actually, and also there's a mic, like a mic system. We've probably seen it on some movies where it's across their neck. It's not actually a
Yeah.
mic that you speak into. It's actually picking up all the vibrations that while you're speaking across your neck.
Yeah.
Those are kind
I
of
think
cool.
that's what the mic in this does.
But not
It's
like it's
something
just
like
not as
that.
close to your actual
Yeah.
vocal cords. Yeah,
And it may be a matter of getting it adjusted where it's sitting in the right place.
that's
It
true.
might be a little fiddly with that. So since
I
it's
can't
brand
know.
new, it was like, well, and
Yeah, that's
it's not
cool.
high end
I like it.
expensive. I found it actually at Home Goods, which means I paid a lower price than what it normally would be.
Oh,
But
Home Goods. I don't know that store. Does it have food or is it
um,
just a
they're
general?
attached to no, they're attached to well, yeah, they're attached to TJ Maxx. You'll
Oh,
usually see them
okay.
both. Yeah,
I I I don't know the last time I've been to a TJ Maxx, but I've heard of it at least. So I guess I can equate
that's where
that.
I do a lot of my shopping for tech. Is there Ross, Marshall, stuff like that. My screen protectors you can get usually phone cases of some type, not the OtterBox usually.
hmm
Your cords, it's a good place to get your charging cords and charging blocks, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I try
Okay,
to pay as little as possible.
right. Well, and but you want quality, so it's like it's usually the middle of the road kind of things, right? I might pay a little more than I want to pay for something, but I'm not going to go to get the most expensive version. Typically on most things, unless it's I can't even think of a good example, but there might be something out there, underwear
Look
maybe. I
for
don't know.
deals on Amazon when it comes to like the mic. Though I had the ones that the set that there goes the mic. I had the
So,
set that Greg sent me, but the quality was not sufficient for the podcast. It
hmm,
just it was yeah, it was cutting out. It was so this was from Amazon and it wasn't horrendously expensive and the pickup is amazing. This is what I did my voiceover on my AI series with
ah.
and sound is incredible. Yeah. So when I
And,
find
and
this
I think
cord,
those mics are very nice. I actually had, I was like, where is it? And it's right. Look at this, Tala. I was like, where was that old mic? Where's that old mic? And then I was like, oh yeah, it's literally right here in front of my
see,
face.
I've got one of those booms like that, but it won't hold the mic. It just goes. "Eh."
Yeah. Well, we won't get into that. That
It
sounds
has
like a
it
personal
has
problem
some
for the mic.
problems.
Need to get it one of those supplements or whatever. Nah, I'm
It
just
needs
kidding.
to be seen.
Yeah. Okay.
Terrible.
429 today. 29. I'm gonna start working on the door prize real quick. I don't remember exactly where we stopped at. I think it'll jump out at me or something. There's a
It will
lot.
once I hear it.
Right. I know we saw this. I remember this picture for sure. Hold on. Let's
Oh
get to our
yeah.
main. Let's get to it. I like this layout if I can make it
I
kind of spread the difference between us here. Like that. There we go. Okay, so yeah, we did see that. First Lady Trump. Foster care is one family for every one child. I feel like we might have. Let's see. There's two children for every available foster
think
family
so.
because I don't remember talking about that with you. I was a Democrat House
I
Representatives
remember
that are
reading
facing
it, but
growing
yeah.
conflicts. So there's a lot of RFK guys. I'm sorry, it's not like like I do agree with a lot of what he says. I'll be honest, but I also don't. I'm not like he's not my every
It fits
waking
our
moment.
topics.
But it's a huge, yeah, it's such a huge connection to health and wellness and what's happening in the world because politics is connected to every single thing that you do. And if you think that it's
Yeah, it
not,
is.
we can't just hide
And
from it.
he's
But
fixing a lot of stuff that matters to me with my health issues and the dietary changes and stuff. And he's a little more strict with the way that he eats than I am. You know, he's pretty much just steak and sauerkraut, essentially.
yeah, he's very
Whatever, you know.
very minimum. Although
But
there's some
it's
things
similar to the way I eat.
right, but he does do the TRT, and that's a synthetic hormone replacement. I wonder, if that contradicts his whole Maha agenda, or if it's just like you got to
I
do
don't
it at
think
that
so.
age. Like there's not a lot of other options at his age, I guess. And
I
it's
mean,
not like he's trying to have a baby or anything like that to mess up his hormones. I don't
no.
know. Maybe it just doesn't matter when
So
you're in your
like
70s.
you see a lot of this in men who have type 2 diabetes, which Jim does. So he has needed that replacement. And it's not to, get buff, it's just to feel
Right.
normal and have energy. And
Sure.
I understand it. I mean, a lot of ladies go on their hormones too. I haven't wanted it, but that's just because I haven't needed it. So
I
some
keep
women
thinking
do.
the same thing. I'm like, should I be on that? But I don't think so. Like, I know, like Rogan talks about it pretty like positively. Hey, Sheena.
I would say not unless you feel like, you're dragging. You know what I mean? Like I just can't work out.
Right.
That kind of dragging,
But we
that
and
would
we
be
all feel lazy at times, so it's hard to like differentiate. Like, am I feeling 42 or am I feeling 42? Like, what's happening here?
yeah, it's the, 2 weeks of no, I just can't, then
Right.
that's something to consider,
I mean, I do have
something to
depression, and that can. I wonder if those two things can be like beneficial. Not two things, but like
yeah,
TRT helping depression, even though
yeah,
it's a byproduct almost. It's kind of
yeah,
funny.
because the hormone shifts will actually cause that. So yeah, it's a possibility.
The gym is good hormone replacement. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing though. I'm just talking about specifically because I know RFK does it, and he's in his 70s. Like, I mean, is working out going to do it? Is it going to is that
Couch
going to
better
cut
watch
it or say again?
out. What's this comment? The couch better watch out.
I want hormones. That couch better watch out. Okay, yeah, just don't put a hole in the couch, Chris.
Forgot I gotta grab the Rumble link and post it on X.
All good. That usually doesn't you know how X feels about links, so it's not gonna it won't be the end of the
No,
world.
actually, this is a misconception. If you post it in your if it's in your primary post, that's a problem.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Drop down and put it in the comments. Yeah.
Okay,
That's why you notice it's always attached to it. Yeah.
right.
Doesn't
Um,
affect you that way.
well, but then was that you or somebody was saying that now supposedly? replying to your own post will deboost you or something to that effect.
I
Or
saw that and it's utter nonsense. Okay. I even
Mm.
asked Grok about this because notice that you have the ability to click the little plus and create a thread.
Right.
And
What
they
would
gave
those
us
be
the
if you?
ability to, down the thread, decide to make part of that thread subscriber only. So no, it does not deboost you to do
Hmm,
that. That was nonsense.
that's a good point.
So if you were to like, a whole bunch of little replies that are complete nonsense, like trying to correct a typo and stuff, don't do that because I mean,
Oh,
for one
come
thing,
on,
it's
guys, check out this post. Where are you? Come and engage. Come, and
why
just
can
like
I not
comment and
find you on
nonsense.
Rumble again? Oh my gosh. I mean, I see
Oh,
you, I just don't see us. How
um,
do I do this?
you've gone to the one with the black logo, right?
Yep, you're there, but where are we?
And you go into live video.
It's just videos, shorts, and reposts. That's the tabs.
They don't even give you live. So what's in videos? Nothing.
Episode 229 is at the top. And it
Wow,
could
that's
be
not
us
even. That's
live.
last week. That's last
We're
week's
messing up,
Monday.
yeah.
So that's just them keeping me like keep the man keeping me down. That's the man keeping
All
me
right.
down. That's what we're
Let
gonna
me
do.
try
I'm gonna
opening the app
I'll
again
share it
and
to
see if
you.
I can find it.
I'll share
Yeah.
it to you.
We shouldn't have to do this,
No,
And it's like a couple times I didn't have to. Let me check it one more
I
time.
don't know
Yes.
that that is something nefarious per se, but it is annoying and frustrating and
Floppy.
counterproductive to say the least.
Yeah.
Especially for somebody who's brought so many people to the platform, and I continually get just bitch slapped by stuff all the time. Now I'm not getting hit by
Yeah.
with the restrictions, so hey, good. That's that's a move in the right direction. But um, and I tell you what,
Better than it
I
could
will
be.
say this, and I'll show you guys. We've blown our numbers away. I've actually got a personal best record this month on hours viewed, which doesn't really matter to most of you, but it is pretty cool. It means that progress is happening a little bit, maybe. So, however slow it is. All right, let's get back. Let's get to the health and wellness. Let's hear what RFK has to say. I know some of you may not want to listen to him, but the more you listen to him, the more used to it you get. I used to watch this guy named Isaac Arthur on YouTube. He's a futurist. Tala. He kind of extrapolates what could happen because of how things are now. And like it's a very intellectual, very smart, but he has a speech impediment. And for a while it's kind of hard to take, but then you kind of get used to it. Or I have a friend from Northern Ireland. He sounds Irish, but he's not Irish, and he'll tell you that that's not even close to what Irish people sound like. But it takes a while to get used to hearing him too. So I think it's kind of the same thing. Let's hear what he has to say.
President Trump and the First Lady, who's been extraordinary for us to work with, have said their vision is one family for one child.
One family
Right
for
now,
one
we have a
child.
2-to-1 ratio. And part of the reason for that is that the Biden administration was excluding an entire class of people because of their religious beliefs. We are and told the states to
Oh
actually
yeah,
pass
we
laws
did.
and
We didn't talk about this. So they were trying to exclude Christians from adopting children.
Yeah, we did touch on it.
Okay, I
Yeah.
think we did talk about that. Now that I remember. Okay, let me just.
I knew that I had listened to it, so
Okay. Well, that's still. I mean, we can go into it. You can look it up yourself. But I guess the Biden administration put all sorts of restrictions on who could adopt kids, which actually went to religious beliefs, which had to do with Christianity, if I'm not mistaken, possibly Judaism. I'm not 100% sure, but that's just messed up.
does
I
raise a
mean,
lot of questions, doesn't it?
yeah, I mean, I could totally see restrictions, and and I'm biased here because I do want more children, and I'm a single father, but I still think it's a little weird for single men to adopt kids. You know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah.
that is a little bit weird. Now, I also kind of feel like it's weird
Is
for
it
a
our
single woman to
generation?
adopt kids, although unless that she didn't have any others, and I guess I mean but it's slightly less to me it's less weird than
It's less weird
a
if it's
man.
a
Yeah.
woman, yeah.
Yeah,
Is it our
yeah.
generation?
I don't know. It's just something I feel. Something just that's what stands out to
It's
me
a
when I think of
value.
adoption.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Hmm.
we tend to, yeah. But
What's up,
I
Bean?
mean, there's obviously no shade on, let's say you're married and you lose your wife, well, you're raising the kids alone. That's not weird. I don't know why,
There's
but that's just
something.
how it is.
Yeah, there's something about a single man like now we do have
Yeah.
examples of this. Daddy Warbucks, we're holding having an orphanage and things, and maybe that's the case, but that's not like he's not adopting like a couple of kids and taking care of them directly himself. Like he owns an orphanage, and yeah, he
Yeah.
adopted Annie, I guess, in the end, but he's also a rich guy, probably has a staff of people that also helping to, like, I don't know. I don't know. There's something there. I don't know that it's necessarily nefarious, and maybe we should just, if it seems like a good person, period, let them adopt, because the kids need a family, need a parent. But at the same time, it is like, I don't know. There's got to be a line. Restrictions are probably necessary, but it doesn't. Religious beliefs, unless it's some kind of
Well, yeah, because I
self-damaging
mean,
thing.
this goes back to the whole thing of, our bias is gonna be, you know, you're Judeo-Christian, you're Jewish, you're Catholic, any of these things were good, but there's going to be other belief systems that you and me are going to go, no, I don't think so.
Look at
And
Woody.
then
That turned out well.
you
What
have
do
to
you?
think like, where's the line drawn?
Right. Where is it now? I don't know. I personally don't believe that Islam fully or can really mesh with the Western, religions, Judeo-Christian belief systems. I just don't think they mesh. I'm not trying to be hateful here, but I also
Well, I
wouldn't
know
restrict a Muslim family from adopting in America. It's like there's two things can be true. Like I don't
it's hard.
necessarily, you know,
I've researched and it's hard. Like I can't even fully answer the question myself.
mhm.
And I had an actual voice conversation with ChatGPT asking questions. And it's like, okay, so let's look at it this way. The people who are categorized as radicals, I ask the question, what are they basing it on? What are the verses? Tell me, read it to me.
Yeah, give
Okay,
me something.
so if we're saying that those verses are misinterpreted, why are they misinterpreted? ChatGPT's answer was interesting because I never went down that rabbit hole before. And it was that those verses were based on a specific event. And so, no, technically, the Quran does not tell them that they should kill everyone who doesn't believe the way they do. I
Right.
can buy that. I can. Because I do have friends who are Muslim who wouldn't hurt a fly. And I know there's going to be some of my friends who'd be like, that's not true. And it's like, well, but I mean,
I think
I
everything
do.
has a sort of outliers, right? You have those, like, those outlier
Yeah.
cases, whether that's exception to a rule or exception to religion. You end up having these sort of more liberal, lack of a better term, liberal-minded, not liberal Democrat, but liberal, like, sort of let live and let live kind of an attitude from people on the sort of outskirts of even
Yeah.
Islam, Judaism, and pick your religion. And there's going to be people that kind of have a mixed view on the outside of it, kind of, or not on the outside of it,
There
but
are
on the
certainly
edges of it. You know what I mean?
there are certainly people, I mean, even in the Native community who completely reject, and they'll say the church.
As
Now,
it
let me
is.
tell you what they're really talking about. They're talking about the Catholic Church. But we
Mm-hmm.
can't say that all Catholics are going out and beating people and murdering them. We know
Right.
better than that. But what was their experience? For example, I think it was the Pacific Islanders that were dealing with Jesuit priests, right? That's a whole other thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
There's
heard
all of these
recently.
different sects,
What was
and
it?
it's but they
Uh,
become conflated. For example, if you have a conversation with more Orthodox Jewish people, they too will say the church and Christians and see
mhm.
the way I was raised. And this is all perspectives, you guys. This is just perspectives. The way that I was raised in Church of God, Anderson, Indiana based Church of God, if you said Catholic, you meant Catholic. You didn't mean Christian. But as I got older, I heard Catholics calling themselves Christians. Now I'm confused
Mm-hmm.
because to me, Christian meant Protestant. There is a difference between Catholic and Protestant,
Mm-hmm.
but we grew up knowing Protestant as Christian.
It's all
So,
mixed
like I
together
said,
now.
it's all
Yeah,
perspectives. Yeah.
it's
So
kind of
when
like
somebody
white
starts talking
people,
about the church
right?
and they mean Catholics, I'm like, that's not me. I don't have idols.
Right. Like somebody said, or I was listening to Rogan the other day. I like to listen to him when I'm on my walks and stuff because I can shut the phone on, like I can put the phone on, you know, sleep or what, shut the screen off. I don't know how to word this, but I can put it in my pocket and not worry about it and still be listening. That was the point.
Yeah.
Um, so, but he was talking about how when he was a kid, he was talking to these black Hebrew Israelites, and was kind of explaining that a little bit, and it's kind of strange and what's going on there. But he basically was saying he was talking to these guys, and they said, "Oh, don't worry, you're not white, you're Italian. You know, it doesn't, you know, it's not." But like, you know, like how everything, there's so many things now that are in the white dome of like, and they're all so different, you know, like Greek, Italian,
Yeah.
you know, some Spanish, like just but yeah, it's just funny how things get kind of generalized over time. The same thing happens with religion. There's probably I had looked it up at one point, but I think there's more than a thousand or two different sects of
Oh, yeah.
Christianity just by itself.
Yeah.
And it's like you know, you can pick your flavor and be like,
And
oh,
you
I
know
don't.
what? Let's get real. There's even a more radical sect in Judaism.
Sure.
Let's be real about this. People don't want to hear that. If
Hmm.
but
The more like
every
staunch or
every
like
belief
stiff,
system has
yeah.
something.
The ones that are
Yeah.
very there's a term for it where they're
Mm.
adhere strictly to the like beginnings of it, right? Um,
Yeah.
there's a term for it I can't think of. But yeah, everyone has that. I saw Don't Mess with the Zohan. You know, you ever see that? You know what I'm talking about? Adam
Sounds
Sandler plays
familiar
a
though.
Adam Sandler plays an
Oh,
Israeli
that's why I haven't seen it because
super.
I boycotted Sandler years ago.
Yeah, he's like a super agent, like special forces, and he decides to be like while he's undercover, he's like he decides to cut hair. He wants to cut hair at a salon. Anyway, it's a funny movie. He can do the no-handed push-up. It's yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah, that's my only exposure to like Israeli special forces is Adam Sandler and Don't Mess with the Zohan. Hey Alice, what's up? Let me get you on the wheel here. Okay, so we've gone um, on and on, but there's this interesting conundrum here where, and this is, and I'll read what he said. We don't, I guess we don't have to listen to him this time. Uh, RFK calls on Democrat House representatives to, or calls out to their faces for ignoring chronic diseases while claiming to care about public health. Now, this, you know, you can disagree with that statement, but let me just read what he says because this makes a lot of sense. The congressman he quotes or quote the congressman was talking about the deaths from infectious diseases, things like COVID, which are a couple thousand a year, and then and we can look this stuff up. We can verify this. And then, quote, 90% of people who die in this country die of chronic diseases. And they are not talking about that. They're not wanting to deal with that. They don't want to, because they're, okay, I won't say because, in my opinion, because they are paid too much by lobbyists to keep them from talking about those things. Because chronic diseases are connected to our inputs, all our inputs: food, medicine, environment. Those are the three things that are being bastardized and stripped away and whatever, being mined away from us as we are being
Right.
poisoned. And they don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about, oh, this new virus that came out. Whoa, ah. There's all these movies about viruses and stuff. There should be a movie about like a 90-year time span of America where like, you know, backroom conversations of like propaganda companies and big, you know, conglomerates of how to feed slop to the people or whatever. Anyway, I just like there could be a story there that's kind of like jumps in time, you know what I mean, through the movie. I could see that. But there's a ton of movies about viruses, monkey this and whatever that, and
Yeah, there are.
there's so many.
Even I Am Legend.
Yeah. Like, no, don't,
I
you
love
better
that
watch out.
movie.
Viruses are not only going to kill you, Tyler, they're going to turn you into a
Turn you
zombie
into a zombie.
vampire, and then you're going to live forever just looking for brains.
No, no,
Um,
no. I'm the Will Smith in here. I'm gonna survive this.
okay.
You know that, right?
But your dog, did the dog die at the end in that movie? I can't remember. There was supposed to be a
I
sequel, I think.
don't remember.
Or
I
maybe there's one
think
on the
so.
way or something. I don't know.
We'll find out.
Waylon will write a movie the government won't let come out. Okay. What's up, Cullen? I'm actually really thinking of this story that keeps coming to my mind, but I won't reveal it. I'm actually thinking about having AI help me write it. I'd be like, look, this is the
No
story.
sense
Here's the
help.
premise. You know what I mean, Tala? You think that would work? Ask Grok to help me write a book.
I'm not pro on using a lot of AI for writing. What
Yeah.
I do is one of two things. Either I do like I'll paste and say spell check, look for grammatical errors, that kind of thing, word count, those kind of things. But a lot of people will just feed a concept and let it write for them. I don't like that. Like
Hmm.
write it yourself and just have it check for problems. That's what I
Right.
do. And
Or
then
I could.
also I'll put it in voice mode and converse back and forth and say I have an idea on something, or here's a paragraph. Does this sound
Mhm.
okay? Give me an idea. But I will never take the suggestion that it gives me and just paste it. I get ideas from that and revise it myself.
Mm. Yeah, what I'm thinking of is would be like a comic book, or even could be a movie or TV. I mean, it could be anything really. So I don't necessarily want to write it in novel form, but I'm sure it could be anyway. It's a side note. Um, let's see. So for once we have a post without RFK. There's a couple more after this, I think, that do. This is from Aaron Siri. Trump's pick to head the CDC, Erica Schwartz, would literally be a disaster. Okay, that's opinion, but I guess Trump picks a new head of the CDC, Erica Schwartz. Schwartz led national COVID 19 vaccine deployment, and her long track record of directly issuing rights, crushing civilians and military vaccine mandates, including mandating injection of smallpox, anthrax, and flu vaccines into U.S. forces. And I'm sure I had plenty of those. And discipline, or I'm sorry,
Discipling?
what is
Oh,
that
I just
word?
froze up. Discipling?
Discipling. What the? I've never heard that
Yeah,
word.
that doesn't make sense in there.
I bet you that's a typo. I was like,
Well,
am I that stoned? I can't read
they
right
meant,
already.
you
What
know
is
what?
this
I think
word?
they meant disciplining.
That's what I was saying. Like disciplining is what I
That's a
almost
type. I'm like,
said, but then
discipling. They're going to recruit them? They're already recruited. It's supposed to be
discipling.
disciplining.
Oh wow,
Ha!
yeah, it reflects.
Disciplining those who refused, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that sounds like a lot. Obviously, I'd have to do my own research on it, but it sounds like Schwartz was part of the problem, so to speak, of the force,
Yeah.
and you're kicked out if you don't get all the shots, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I could see both ways, especially but pre-COVID in the military. It's like, hey, you got to get your shots. Like everybody thought it was, it was like normal, like that was the thing, it's like
It
it
shouldn't
was
be
all
all or
good.
nothing. I
Yeah.
mean, look, I'm 58. I have a smallpox vaccine. I'm vaccinated for that. I frankly felt they should have never stopped just vaccinating everyone for smallpox. That one is serious. And so far as I understand it, the vaccine is quite effective. Um, I didn't have the chickenpox vaccine because it didn't exist,
Mm,
but I had chickenpox. You know, now whether you have chickenpox or you get the vaccine, you are still at risk for shingles later. Either
hmm.
way, that's a fact. And if you don't catch chickenpox as a child and you get it as an adult, it can be very serious.
Yeah.
So there's really no perfect solution for this scenario. But I will tell you this, like I have the big bottle of lysine over here because I have had shingles. Um, but I will tell you this, it wasn't catastrophic.
Mm.
I get it on the nerve path here. It lasts about a month. I don't get blisters. So as
Uh,
long as it's like that, it's manageable.
You ever? Do you ever get any? Okay, sorry. Do you ever get any shit on the shingle? Sorry, I had to say it. Um, you ever had SOS as a kid?
Grab
We
with
would
my
make
dad making that for us because he was in the army.
shit on the shingle without the shingle. You
For those
just
who don't
that's
know,
without the
chipped
bread.
beef and gravy on toast.
Yeah, beef and gravy with some toast, and then you can have shit on the shingle without the shingle, and that means without the toast. And
People worry about that so much, and I will not get the shingles vaccine. I don't need it. Yes, it's painful, but so's everything else in my life. Who cares? Pain is pain. It's not going to harm me. So
Chris
if
says,
it's
"What are
not
the
into my eyes, we're not worried. You know what I mean? So, ooh, it hurts for a month. Okay, and like I've always got something that hurts. I really don't. If you're running from pain so much that you're willing to put something in your body that could really harm you, there's something wrong. You like learn to deal with it. That's just my opinion. I'm just saying. But I know people who have been made very, very sick by that shingles vaccine. That newer one in particular it's bad. I know someone who refused to go back for the booster. She was so sick from the first one. So I think that we're overkill. Like most people younger than us, they could not sit here and tell you, just like, tell me all the vaccines you've had. If you're like 20, 30 years old, you don't know.
right? Look at this. It says
I can tell you all the ones I had.
between 1986 and 2026, the in your I can't say it, in utero set of injections went from 3 to 29 in that time span, which, I mean, you could argue we've had a lot of advancements or whatever. I mean, and I'd love to see that, played out, but definitely seems a little fishy, including, oh, okay, it says including in
Smallpox.
utero. So this wasn't just in utero, it's just it includes that
Yeah.
by an infant's first birthday. Okay. So 3 to
That's the other
29,
thing. It's so many.
right.
Like
29 by the
early.
infant's first birthday.
That's
First
scary.
birthday.
So you know also what they're doing because the doctor and the parent both don't want so many appointments. They're doing a lot of them all at once. That's the other thing. So
Hmm.
modified schedule, you guys. If you're going to do it, at least do a modified schedule. Stretch that out. Don't blast their system with like 15 vaccines in one visit. Good Lord. So,
Oh, wow.
smallpox, polio, measles, mumps, rubella, tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis.
And that's if
That's it.
they leave the formulas alone and actually have working formulas, right? And if we can get some transparency on the ones that we think do work and know what the heck is in it, there's no reason for you to like hide the formula unless there's some. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess there's a patent, I'm sure, so maybe there's some sort of legal reasons why, hey, we can't tell you everything that's in our product.
But we
I
should
could
know if
see that.
thimerosol's in it, right?
If
So
it's a
if
mandated
not,
thing, there should be no reason that we
yeah,
can't. If it's mandated,
yeah.
like forget your copyright or whatever, like
People will tell you there's no thimerosal, which is mercury. They'll tell you that it's not in the vaccines anymore. Not entirely true. In a single dose vial, no. A multi-dose vial, yes, because it's a preservative. So don't think that, it's completely gone. It's not. And of course you saw me have the meltdown that one week over the whole I just went and got Piglet and Shadow's vaccines done and I had to skip the feline leukemia virus because that's now mRNA.
hmm.
Now I got to
Yeah, you
hunt
were
down
saying that.
somebody who's got the old formula, you know, and that will only be good for a year when I do. Then what? You know? So
So,
if
but
you're pushing it for the pets, it's still coming into your home.
I just wanted to point out that this guy has all his sources and everything. So if you're somebody who's like,
Good
well,
Lord.
that's just some rando spouting off what their opinion. I mean, Seems pretty thought out to me. I mean, check out his sources, but this is really just over his criticisms of Schwartz. So, but that is some interesting information on how they've changed things since '86. Um, this one says, "Boom," from Anna Matson. Secretary Kennedy just demolished Big Pharma again. Every news station has reported on a brand new Danish study. Okay, so let's listen to what he has to say. But first, I'll say, Alice, she says, have the shingles going down the crack of your ass with blisters. You will want one. Want one what?
Extremely uncommon.
I'm not
The,
sure.
the
Oh, the
vaccine.
vaccine. Yeah, yeah.
Not that the vaccine is guaranteed to help. That's the other thing. It's extremely
Right.
uncommon too. It's generally the nerve pathway across your ribs on one side.
Hmm.
It's unusual that mine is on my scalp.
Does it
You know.
spread across the whole body?
Look, everybody's got to make their own decisions on it.
Hmm.
Everybody's got to make their own choices. But that statement is also incorrect for someone else because you don't know what someone else is going to do as a decision, regardless of how it makes them feel physically. I have had chronic pain my entire life. Something always hurts. I don't know what it's like to have an entire day without something hurting. Just for context here, I'm an
Hmm.
autoimmune and neurological patient, and I have been since the day I was born. So for me to say, well, this hurts, okay, so does
This is
waking up.
life, right? And for some people,
So,
it's much worse than others. And you might be sitting out
yes,
there going, well, you guys just don't know my pain. And you're right. I don't know your pain, guys. And I tell you what, most of my community, the people who engage the most, are all have some kind of chronic illness.
yes,
And there are some reasons for that. One, cannabis typically ends up being people's like, I wouldn't say last resort, but they end up turning to cannabis after they get sort of disappointed by the mainstream. But then also on top of that, so basically you're already usually hurting when you're turning to cannabis, unless you're somebody that's been a recreational user your whole life, which there are those too. But and you don't, I don't see a lot of those actually in my community. A lot of us maybe have used our whole life, but the people who are here are typically people who are in pain, but also
mhm,
using. But also the other thing is people that are in that kind of pain and have those kind of problems typically have more time on our hands. No offense, everybody, but we have time on our hands to be on the Facebook, be on the online.
right.
There's more of us concentrated throughout the internet that have that kind of time, I guess, is my point.
Let me
So,
point
yeah,
to this one more time, because this is important for people to understand. I'm very conscientious from start to finish on how I take care of my health. The foods that I eat, the foods that I don't eat, even more important. I already know that I have a stress triggered inflammatory disease which could kill me. To be very blunt, it is life threatening. And so I make those conscientious decisions from the time I get up every day. So because of that, I have to keep my inflammation levels low if I want to function. And because I'm doing that, I am at less risk for many, many things, including that shingles. I don't even like to call it a virus because I mean, it is the
right.
chickenpox virus. That's where it starts. It's a herpetic virus. I'm at a lower risk for it flaring and for it doing anything weird. And so if I'm under extra stress, maybe I don't even feel it flaring, but I'm going to go, I think I'll take some lysine for the next few days. This is why I get a big bottle of it. Okay. Because we know that this deals with it. But a lot of people are not getting all of that in their diet and they're not supplementing. So I'm practically carnivore at this point. I've been ketovore for over a year. So I'm already getting a fair amount of lysine and other things that my body needs. Plus, I'm supplementing. And so as a result, last time I caught a cold, I could feel it. I was like, my hair hurts, you know? But I started taking that lysine and it backed off just like that. So
What's the
the
most
point is,
keto
I don't
thing you ever ate?
toxify my system.
Sorry, finish your thought because you just
Oh,
made
no.
me think of something.
Well, point being, I don't toxify my system in the first place. I don't eat a lot of sugar. I don't eat a lot of refined sugar. I'm
Try
very
not to.
careful about
I
that.
fucking try not to. I
I
love
know,
it.
I know. But if you do that up front, instead of what I see all the time in the lupus community. I'm going to call everybody out again. Food is all I got left. I just want to enjoy my food. Wouldn't you rather enjoy your life?
Or function, enjoy being able to function. Because
Sure.
we don't think about the joy of being able to function normally until you can't.
Yes.
Like whatever it is, even like a regular sickness, like you're down for a day for a sprained ankle, whatever it is, then you're going, oh, this sucks. I can't do the thing. Just normal things. But when you're doing normal things, you're not going, this is great. Look at I can what I can do this. Ah. Like no, you're not thinking that. But maybe just a tiny bit of that
One
would
of
be
the
good.
rheumatology tests is, can you put your fingers all the way. Let me get it in the camera. Can you do? I can do this now. There was a time where it was
Something like that.
about
Ah,
here, because of the pain and stiffness. I can do that now,
you do this.
even though I'm hyper.
Well, look, can you
Which
do this?
oh, the tips a little bit, yeah. I don't
Just
have
the
a lot of
tips.
strength.
Look, just the tips,
Yeah.
everybody. Sorry.
What that?
Yeah.
But I mean, these little things.
What?
This is stuff that's improved because of the way that I'm eating.
We got a
So
gifted
if
sub.
you
Sorry, Tala. Thank you, Sheena. I'm not sure what that is or how it works, but thank you very much. Go ahead, Tala.
But if you front load with being
Oh, she
conscientious
gave it
of
to
your
you,
choices,
Tala. It's yours. She gave it
to
to
me,
you. Yeah.
very cool.
Sorry, I keep interrupting, but that's interesting.
Yeah, if you front load your choices with being conscientious, see, there's less problem coming down the pike. That's the whole point. But see, most people they just give up really easily. And I'm very blunt about this because I've seen it over and over and over, and it leads nowhere good. It's not just dysfunction, but could lead to an early death. I don't want that. I'm not done yet.
Right. Or at least we should have some reason that we want to be here as long as possible. If you're somebody who's like, I don't care
Quality.
anymore. Yeah, quality of
Yeah,
life. And
quality. I want to
um,
feel good.
again, I keep bringing up that same Rogan podcast, but he was talking to his buddy Big or Louis J Gomez. Shouts out to Louis J Gomez. He does a show that has inspired the game we play on Thursday nights. But anyway, he was talking about his aunt or his grandma or his aunt who's like 89 and she just eats whatever the heck she wants and doesn't do crap. Like he's like, there's people like that make the rest of us think, oh, what use is it for me but it's like that's an anomaly. Like there's some people that can smoke every day cigarettes their whole life and still live to 90 or whatever. We all like you all had someone tell you that story of like, oh, my grandpa, he was 95 and he smoked every day of his life. Like, okay, but like put that into a percentage of people and you're probably not looking at a great number of people that will survive with that. um
True. Yeah,
oh, hey, what's
you
up?
know me. It's all about quality of life. It just so happens that when you have better quality of life, longevity also generally follows that. So I just chose a different way to tackle it, you know?
Is this you on Twitch? You didn't say anything on Twitch, did you? Forgot your Twitch name.
Not
It's
me.
Tala. It's Tala on Twitch, I think. Well, hello, Twitchter. That's unusual to have somebody here on Twitch. That's awesome. Um,
I'm on Rumble.
yeah, I agree with what you said. Like you have to be a little more um, proactive if you want. If you don't want to, like it's that's hard. That's a hard, like how do I say this? Not suicidal, but also don't care about your life. Like there's a lot of people like that. They're like, I'm not trying to hurt myself, but I don't give a shit anymore about any of it. And it's like, well, what a weird position to be
Dangerous.
in. Yeah, it's dangerous
Very
because
dangerous. Yeah.
maybe they do things that um, are reckless and to hurt themselves, but
That.
maybe not in a direct way. Like they're not going, okay, I'm gonna, you know, I don't want to say all the words to some of these algorithms, but maybe I'm not going to do those
Yeah.
things that would be suicidal, but I am going to go and like drink a fifth of vodka and chew a bunch of pills and whatever. Like the list goes on of like reckless things that can hurt you, but also hurt other people. And anyway, hurting other
Important to
people.
understand that because you've heard
Hmm.
me say this. I was on a self-destructive path myself, not just the past where, yeah, I was suicidal, but also just a few years ago, I was teetering on that edge of, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired. I'm tired of feeling like the rug's getting yanked out from under me. I don't want to teach. I don't want to broadcast. I just don't want to. And that was at the point that the mentor that I have now came into my life. But
Hmm.
see, what I know from having dealt with people like this in the lupus community is that doesn't sound very, that doesn't sound like a very big problem. That sounds pretty benign. Oh, you just don't want to teach anymore. I know where that leads.
Right.
That's I stopped eating right. I stopped taking my supplements. I'm not taking my meds correctly, which I do have one for my heart. This is important. That's the I give up. Where does that lead, you guys? Like, I've watched friends die every year in the lupus community because of that exact decision of I just don't want to. So I was close to it. Yeah.
People need something to pour themselves into their whole life, even in elderly age. Like that's why it's sort of common to talk about a hobby when you retire or something like that.
Yes.
Fuck that. The
Very important.
hobby and the job, the career, the what is it that you do is what you're doing, and that's, I mean, you might call it a hobby at that point. If you're retired and you're like pouring your heart into like building birdhouses or something, that's not a hobby anymore. That's your passion, or that's your motivation for living. And I mean, you could, aside from family, obviously, like there's different reasons that you might want to keep going on. But like people, they found people in villages that continued working, like never had a like there was no retirement age. They live longer,
Yeah.
and it's like maybe they're being
True.
tortured longer, but but no, they're not being forced to work. They're just
Well, but
working.
I mean, if you, yeah, that's the thing is that's why I tackle it from the angle of quality of life. Like, I don't want more years that are terrible. Like, whatever years I get, I want them to be good. So, I mean, if your choice
Mhm.
is live another 50 years and it sucks, or live another 10 years and it's fabulous, which way you want to go?
Fabulous.
Fabulous.
Or you live another 3 years and you do a lot of mind bending drugs. Oh, sorry. I kind of always thought of
Where
that
did
as a
we go
kid.
wrong here?
As a kid, I don't know how young I was, but I had this thought like, well, if I make it to 80, I'm just gonna do all the because I was always a very kind of goody kid where I didn't think about doing any of these things. I was like, why? But then eventually it was like, well, you could do them all when you're like at the end. You know what I mean? Like just do all of them and go out with a smile. But that would be pretty freaky as a
People do.
right. Well, probably.
I mean, look at people who are given not just catastrophic, but a terminal prognosis, okay? And they decide, oh, I'm going to go do everything. Now, what we have seen is there have been people who were given a terminal diagnosis. Their prognosis was bad, like
Was
substantially
false. Yeah. Isn't that
and
crazy?
they went out
Uh,
and they were like, I'm going to skydive, I'm going to
fuck it.
travel,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. And you know what
Wait,
happened
we
though?
were wrong. What? What?
Yeah, but not always just like the we were wrong. That's a bad situation. Yeah. But in some cases, it's the fact that they let go and
Hmm.
decided I'm going to live my life. It turned it around.
Yeah, they
All of a
actually had
sudden, their
some
health improved.
joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Laughter is the best
And so,
medicine. Joy,
this was
like
part of
those
the thing
things
that clued me
affect
in.
us. Hmm.
Like, yeah, this is part of the thing that clued me in that's the direction to tackle it from is get people to get out of that. I'm gonna sit here and shovel down the sugar because it just gives me that quick high. Ooh,
Hmm.
this feels good. Yum yum yum.
Chasing the
I'm gonna
dragon.
overeat.
No.
Get out of the house, and do something good for yourself, and be more disciplined in your kitchen. And guess what? Life improves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That that is one thing that like the work on the front end typically makes it easier on the back end, but then we typically want to ignore the front end work, whatever it is, like whether that's
Look,
cleaning
I
our
went through
house.
that. I went through that cycle of stupid with my back pain. Okay, so like
Hmm.
I feel better. Cool. I'll have to do the PT stuff. Whoops. Okay, back to the PT. The thoracic rotation in particular. That's very, like start getting spasms again. Do it for a while. Feel good. I'm not thinking about it. I don't have to worry about it. Whoops. I did that 3 or 4 times before I finally got it through my head. Do the PT exercises so
Hmm.
that doesn't happen. It's no different in the kitchen. Yeah.
Well, and I think people like to like to see like instant results, right? With anything. By the way, my neck has been hurting for like a week and a half. I haven't been to Taekwondo in 2 weeks. Um,
Oh.
it's it's starting to be a problem. It's one of those things where I thought, I'll just leave it. I'll just try to baby it, right? No, I haven't iced it or anything yet, and I probably should. I did put
Do
some
you
pain cream on it, but that was it.
do you ever do the broomstick exercises? You know about those?
We hop over the broomstick together.
Oh.
No.
So the very first one, you're gonna hold each end of a stick, like a walking stick or whatever. They call it shoulder dislocation, which is stupid because you're not. But you're gonna go up and over to the back and then forward again. Do
Hmm.
like 5 or 10 of those to start,
Hmm.
and then you can do this direction, right? Both directions. Yeah. I'll send you a link to it later, but those will actually help your neck
I
as
get
well as
hurts.
your
I can't
your
even go
upper
that
back.
way.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I gotta go to well, like I'll do like like real like gentle rotations
You're gonna be careful though, yeah.
right in
Those
the
are
back
those are
corner over here.
always we do
Mm.
those as part of the Tai Chi warm-ups, but yeah, they should be done very gently, very slowly, you know. But the broomstick exercises will actually help with that. It was
Ow.
honestly, it sounds weird for such a simple thing, really life-changing for me. Really made a big difference.
I can't
Yeah.
just do this. Oh, I used to do that, and I would get these fun pops. Hey, but I tell you,
Not, let's not paralyze ourselves live.
well, I broke a rib live one time. It was on locals, so it wasn't fully. It wasn't like across all the streams.
Oh.
But yeah, it's just healing, just now healing up. It's only been a few months. It literally happened
Oh.
live. I think Diane's here. Hey, Diane, were you here? Was that you or Alice or who was it? One, was it Kayla maybe? There's only a handful of friends that hang out with me on those little private sessions where we were watching Kill Tony and such. But yeah, happened right there live. I thought I could. So what I did was I tried. I'm not going to do it again, obviously, but I leaned my upper body onto the top of the bar, thinking that I could hang my legs and pop my back, like, and it popped
Yeah,
all
it
right.
can be done, but you got to be careful. Yeah.
Well, the
It
bar is
pops
like
up.
straight. Well, yeah, it's a straight ledge. I saw this like machine that they have that's not really a machine. It's like a workout bench, but
Yeah.
it's basically does that, and it's high up enough that,
Yep.
but it has a curve and like a padded curve to it, so that your body's actually curved and not just
And a
thunk,
padded
and then
surface.
and then just all my upper body weight was just sitting on my ribs, and then it went pop, and then I was like, oh, whoa, my God.
You
Yeah, it
have
was,
to build up to that exercise.
yeah, it was. But the cool thing about the machine, just to clarify, was that you would have a weight. Like there was a, I don't know if it was a bar or something to your legs, kind of like the exercise where you are just lifting towards your back, except on the way down away from your back, it would actually what do you call it?
Resistance on the way down as well.
Well, no, it would like the table, inversion table. What is it that you're doing when you're trying to spread out your vertebrae?
Traction?
Huh?
Traction.
Not well, maybe, but it's basically like trying to basically the same thing that happens when you're on an inverted table, letting your spine
Yeah.
decompression.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah.
so
Yeah. It should be
on the
fine. That's
downward, it's decompressing, and on the upward, you're strengthening your back. And so it's kind of a cool
okay.
table because I've been on a bunch of those benches where you're doing back strengthening exercises with your legs lifting up like that. But on the way down, it's doing a decompression kind of motion, which is great for people that.
I'm laughing at the comments. That's
Which
McClare.
one?
Yes, I was here. Alice, I missed it. Sad face. It's sad that she missed you breaking your wrist.
it would have been fun. They would have had a good laugh. That's for sure. That's all. That's all I can say. But yeah, it was. I was surprised. I was just as surprised as they were. That didn't expect to happen. All right, we're at the hour mark. Let's do the number spin. Come on, there it goes. Go sign up at locals on locals.com at theindoorfarmer.locals.com and go check out Tala on Substack at First Light Warrior, maybe.
I'll grab the link. Hold on.
Give us the okay. Denise, you were number 7. Wait, does this flip everything around? Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is all over the place.
Pull yourself together.
It's literally doing things it shouldn't be doing. New, let's see, we'll go to oldest. Okay, so that should start with 1. Trent, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And
Actually, forgot to repost on Facebook.
Ronaldo is 15. That's all good. Ronald Blackwell. It's funny. I get these two names mixed up, Ronald and Ronaldo, and they're right next to each other on the list. That's funny. Ronald, you're number 16. Okay, 16. We've got to add a couple numbers to the wheel. 15 and 16. Oh. I actually did save quite a few good stories that I'm hoping we can get to. We'll try to rapid fire some of these. I saved quite a few from HHS, but I think it's relevant, so I'm gonna at least breeze through them. Here we go. Number wheel number 3. Let's go. Joe says, just took a shower, had the option bar soap or body wash. Found out the bar leaves the body cleaner as the body wash that leaves an oily residue. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't use body wash anymore either, Joe. I use bar soap. Back to the bar, baby. Dr. Squatch. I use Dr. Squatch soap. It's all natural. It's good stuff. Oh, number 1. Awesome. Number 1, I think that was Trent. That's right, Trent, a Super Pro member. Thank you, my good man. I now want to be referred to as Papa Chulo. I mean, that sounds a little gross, Chris, but if you want, I guess it's up to you.
I'm not calling you that.
Yeah, well, okay. We'll stick with Bob. PC, call him PC for short. What's PC stand? Okay, all right. We'll rapid fire a couple of these here. Next one from Nicholas Holscher, MPH. Whatever that means. Criminal referral requests have been filed against Anthony Fauci and top COVID officials in 7 states, accused of murder, terrorism, racketeering, fraud, abuse, and more. 2 county-level criminal investigations are already underway. Here's all the names of the different doctors, alleged crimes, a lot of alleged crimes. The referrals were filed by VIRES Law Group and are backed by detailed evidence, including testimony from hundreds of victims and families. They said that lethal hospital protocols, the denial of life-saving treatments, and systematic medical coercion led to widespread injury and death. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they're going to explain the sudden banning of ivermectin in mid COVID, something that had been around since the 80s, and suddenly you couldn't find it anywhere. There was a short time when like you just couldn't get it anywhere, and it's like,
Wow.
you know, give us some explanations. I mean, look, you can be somebody out there that thinks. Go ahead.
I walked into a feed store trying to get fenbendazole so I could treat the cat colony, and they looked at me and said they looked weird first. They were like, they're all, we don't have that. I'm all, this is a feed store. Why don't you have a basic antiparasitic? You don't have fenbendazole, really? I wasn't even asking for ivermectin. They were
Right.
acting weird about that too. It's like,
Everything got real weird about it for during that time, and it was like this
I had to get it
shortage.
on Amazon.
I wonder if maybe it wasn't that they were outlawing it, but more so that they were hoarding it. They being anyone of great means, just hoarding the crap out of it. I
That,
don't know.
but also they were, they had the narrative. Oh no, you can't treat it with that. It doesn't work.
Right.
It
That was
does.
being
But
pushed
they didn't want us
100%.
to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you think it was a real shortage or whatever the supply issue was, yes, they were most certainly
Here's the
telling you,
thing.
what? Horse based?
What's a virus at it's like an itty bitty teeny tiny little parasite, the way it behaves.
It's a
It's
living,
not a
living thing
mystery.
that you don't want. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's living off of you. So it is
Parakeet
a
in
parasite.
particular.
Right.
Parakeet in particular, which that's what Lyme disease is. That's what a lot of these things are.
That's funny. I found
And I
out,
have
like,
theories about lupus.
do you know why Lyme disease is called Lyme disease?
Uh, I assumed it was a name. It's
I just
Lyme.
found this out, so I'm not trying to be so cool, but like I'm 42 and I found out it's because of where it originated. It's like
Oh, okay.
Lime Springs somewhere. I don't know. I forget
Makes sense.
what state it was. Colorado or so. I forget where it
Yeah.
was. Honestly, don't kill me, but
Yeah.
it's somewhere in the states.
Yeah. That
I
makes
always
sense.
thought it had something to do with allergies to lime. You know, like what? Lyme disease? You
Oh,
can't have
Lyme.
Lyme? That sucks. That sucks. You can't have any limes.
Not
Yeah.
Li.
What is it?
No, the worst thing to me would be
Oh,
alpha
why?
gal
Right. Yeah.
syndrome. I'm so glad. Like, I considered for a while that alpha gal might be what was causing me so many problems with red meat. Thank goodness it wasn't.
Alpha
And
gal, isn't that like a
I
boss
will,
bitch?
no, definitely not.
Alpha
No,
gal, get it? Never
you
mind.
can't. You can't. It's tick transmitted, and you can't.
Oof.
You can't digest meat.
Yes, that's what.
How
Oh
carnivore
yeah.
now put it. Imagine I would be.
Could you
Yeah,
imagine? Yeah, somebody else was
you
saying that.
can recover from it, but it takes a long time.
Did you say it takes a long time? Never mind. Yeah, it would take a long time. I've somebody else was just talking about this and like, could you imagine being allergic to meat? It's like, man, I don't know what I would do. Like, I think
Yeah.
that
Now that would be really bad for me. I mean, I could go back to being vegetarian, but I don't want to.
right. I wonder if I think there's some that can eat eggs still, or there's certain things that they're
Fish.
still able to eat. Yeah,
Yeah.
to get the
But I
protein.
wouldn't be happy. I
No,
I
big plate of
my
eggs every
I've joked
day.
about
Oh,
this
can you
before.
imagine the
My
burps?
diet
Oh,
is
the burps.
steak, eggs, blueberries, yogurt. That's the majority of what I eat.
Yeah. Do
Steak
you?
and steak again.
Isn't it the weirdest thing though when you get like the egg burps where it's like raw, or it tastes like it's like a rotten egg, but actually you didn't eat any egg. It's because of the food. It's because of the other garbage like that we eat. Not maybe not you,
I don't
but I
have a
mean,
problem with it.
right.
So I take TMG, which is from betaine,
Hey Kyle.
if I'm eating high sulfur, like a lot of eggs or, steak and eggs together, I take TMG because I have that gene mutation that makes it difficult for me to methylate and clear sulfur from my system. So I take TMG and there's not a problem. Also, the quality of the egg. Let's remember that. Yeah. I don't eat basic commercial eggs. I get pasture raised. Yeah.
Right. So Alice has an interesting thought here. I wonder what you think, Tala. You're supposed to wash your hair first and work your way down. Is that true?
What? As opposed to what?
Well, go the other way around. You wash your feet first, legs up to the knees, all
Well,
the way
I
up to the
mean,
hair.
I wet my hair first because if you just get shampoo in it right away, it really is not as effective.
You don't put your
You're supposed to wet your hair.
you don't put shampoo in your hair dry first.
Well, I mean, you're pretty much doing that. You're supposed to wet your hair and wait a few minutes.
Mm.
You do give it a few minutes, yeah.
See, I just wet
And
it.
I have a very specific routine. I've got some very specific shampoo and conditioner I use. It's made by Purador that is for hair thinning because, I do have problems with that because of my health. So, yeah, I'm very careful about that.
So yeah, Alice says you should walk. You should work downward, and then Joe says, Alice, 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 I know how to shower. I've been at it 55 years plus years. We didn't get a shower till I was 5. We all had to share it, and it
Well,
was
yeah, when we were little, they put us in the tub, right? Yeah.
yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. The exchange is funny. That's what you
I'm trying
do,
to figure out,
Chris.
like, were we comparing it to scrubbing our feet first? I mean,
Ass first is actually what I was thinking. Ass first. Boom. You start there. Like that's
that
your
might be a good
that's the
idea.
concentration of that's probably the most concentration of germs, and then
We're
you
gonna get
work
into
your
the
way out,
debate of towels again.
and then you spread outward from there. No pun intended. Now I do know people. Uh, and this is a little, little racial warning here, but I've known black women to not they think it's very odd that that I personally, but white people wash their hair and body at the same time in the shower. There are a lot of
Oh,
people, and
well,
I don't know that it's strictly black
so,
people. I don't know if it's every black person, but I
well,
know
no,
there's some
there's a
that's
reason.
what
No,
because of
there's
the
a
hair,
reason.
the
Okay, so
difference.
their black hair is fragile. They
Hmm.
take very good care of it because it's fragile. It's so
Right.
very curly hair is the structure of the shaft is flat. And so it's fragile. That's why they have to work so hard and have special products for it.
Mm.
Um, I had a friend for 11 years who used to go and get his hair relaxed and then, conditioned and all that stuff. So I learned a lot about it from that. So yeah, they actually most black people I've known don't wash their hair as often. I have to wash mine daily. Your scalp is going to be different depending on
Mhm.
ethnicity and all kinds of things. Yeah. So that's probably why they probably don't want to wash it as often. Yeah.
I don't
Because
wash my
it's
hair as often, especially ever since I went to Iraq. I learned about uh, a few things, and not specifically because of Iraq, but because of the training they put us through to go there. Some of the things that they told us were not to use a loofah when we shower, because when you're in the desert, the air in the desert in Iraq at least 2% of the air was human feces, like blowing around from the sand. The
Oof.
top, okay, hold on, back up. Maybe they said the 2% of the top layer of the sand. Anyway, it's blowing
Yeah.
around. It's all over. Um, and so basically, you needed to kind of keep a layer of
Protective layer.
skin, crust, dirt, whatever you want to call it, but not it
Yeah.
wasn't
Don't
really dirt.
exfoliate. Yeah.
Right, you didn't want to exfoliate, so you kind of leave some of that deadening skin on the outside if you don't exfoliate often enough. So then that was one, and then another thing is your hair doesn't matter what color you are, has oils in it, and your scalp has oils in it. And if you wash too often, especially with drying agents and things like that, then it can be detrimental to your hair will dry and get kind of brittle and all this stuff. That can happen for anybody. So I just don't, I'm not a big proponent of taking excessive showers all the time. Like I'll take a shower every couple of days, especially if I haven't done anything, unless I've gone to the gym or unless I've gone, outside and done
That's
some
the
work.
thing.
Like if I've done something, right.
Yeah.
But if I've just been here and then done my show and then my son gets home, I do dinner and so and I go to sleep. I'm like okay, like I'm fine. But like I do plenty of work where I have to take a shower because I'm dirty. But that's a different thing. It's a different thing. And we used to
Generally, when
have
I'm training, I work out every day. So yeah, it becomes necessary. But it's
yeah,
also how I wake up in the morning. I'm very stiff, my joints and stuff when
true.
I get up. So I do very hot. I take very hot showers, but I switch to that cold water for 1 to 2 minutes near the end of my shower.
Mm-hmm.
That's my cryotherapy, as best I've
Oof.
got at home. That cold,
Oof.
it's what makes me function.
It's tough. It's
So
a hard
yeah,
thing.
it's pretty much daily.
You're only
I
supposed to
conditioned
wash your hair
myself.
every other
It's
day,
what I
right?
did because when my water heater was out for 2 weeks, what do you think I was doing? I
Mm.
didn't want to have to go to the gym for a shower every day. I took some cold showers.
I'm really oily, so I have to shower every day. Right. So it depends on the person for sure. But also there's this too, and I'm sure Tala can attest to this. Ladies probably do more things to moisturize. I mean, different sort of conditioner regimens and things that like help moisturize and all that. And men, especially going outside and getting work done and things like you don't you don't necessarily want the most pristine, how do I put this, like manicured and like wonderful skin, and like you don't necessarily, you know what I'm saying, you don't necessarily need, we talked about this last week, you don't necessarily need the like freaking callus gripped, like just crazy dirty hands that are just can't ever be cleaned either. Like there's a happy medium in there, I think, for
Yeah.
that. Anyway, it's kind of rambling, but that's my opinion. um Okay, so more about, so this one comes from Nick Sorter, the next story here. Just in, the Pentagon is dropping a flu vaccine requirement for service members effective immediately. This is interesting because it seems a little anti the current administration,
Yeah.
right? So let's hear what Pete Hegseth has to
What
say.
happened
Under,
there?
under the disastrous Biden administration, this Pentagon waged an unrelenting war on our warriors on many fronts, including when it came to denying them simple medical autonomy and the freedom to express their religious convictions. In other words, our men and women in uniform were forced to choose between their conscience and their country, even when those decisions posed no threat to our military readiness. You know what I'm talking about, what happened, COVID-19 and the vaccine. No more. That era of betrayal is over. Under President Trump, the War Department continues to take decisive action to once again restore freedom and strength to our joint force. We're seizing this moment to discard any absurd, overreaching mandates that only weaken our warfighting capabilities. In this case, this includes the universal flu vaccine and the mandate behind it. The notion that a flu vaccine must be mandatory for every service member everywhere in every circumstance at all times is just overly broad and not rational. Our new policy is simple. If
Makes
you,
sense.
an American warrior entrusted to defend this nation, believe that the flu vaccine is in your best interest, then you are free to take it. You should. But we will not force you because your body, your faith, and your convictions are not negotiable. Your health. It's common sense. It's the kind of common sense approach we're undertaking in this department. Rest assured that under President Trump, the War Department will always honor our brave warriors and do everything we can to restore the American people's trust in their military for generations to come. And that's why I'm proud to sign this new policy.
So did I read this backwards from what he just said? Because
Yeah, because it sounds like, if they're talking
oh,
about
I
freedom,
I
they're
maybe
saying,
I said the wrong word, but it says he is dropping the flu vaccine requirement. Did I say something else
yeah, there
earlier? I
you
have
go.
to look. Maybe I
Yeah,
read something else, but I don't. Maybe
that
I
could be
read that. Maybe
interpreted differently.
maybe we both immediately thought it meant that he's
Your mind would,
adding some requirements, like
yeah,
dropping new
dropping like,
requirements.
hey, we're
Yeah.
dropping something. Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
interpretation. Got it. Yeah. So they're
Um.
dropping it. Good. That's good.
And look, I get it. Rose says, "Screw you, Hag." Like I get it. You don't like the guy, but Rose, can you tell me? Can you be uh, subjective here and say it's probably a good thing to not force every person in every situation to get the same cookie cutter? We just explained how everybody's so different on like our skin and our oils and things like that's just one little tiny bit about us that's different. Like I think this makes sense. You don't have to love this guy or this administration to think, oh, well, yeah, maybe we should kind of look a little closer at each individual case and they can opt out of it. Plus the fact that I don't know about you, but pre-COVID, every time we said the vaccine for anything was to protect you, not to protect people around you. That has never been a thing, and I don't personally believe that is even a thing with COVID. But that's just something
In
they
my
suddenly
opinion,
flipped
it
the
is
script and
time.
said, You know what I mean? Like you have
Yeah.
to get it to
In,
protect everyone around you. Like whoa, 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 what?
yeah.
Whoa, excuse
Yeah.
me. Go ahead.
In my opinion, it's time the flu shot go the way of the dodo, really, because
Yeah.
they're effective. Look up the percentage of effectiveness, if we can even believe that. And there's years when it's like, it's 16 to 22% effective, and oh shit, we got the wrong strain. They don't know what they're doing. Okay, let's just be clear about that. I've never heard of them coming out with a flu vaccine for any particular year that had an efficacy of over, I'm being generous here to say 60%. That is not enough to risk insisting that people get it when I have seen people hit the floor. Here's the worst thing you could do, okay? Let's do a clinic at the office. At Jim's office, they had to call 911 because a woman collapsed and she stopped breathing. Don't. If you feel you must, go to a doctor's office. Go to your local hospital. Don't even go to a store, to a pharmacy. Because if you have a reaction, and it can happen even if it's never happened before, they're going to have to call 911. Do you want to die in Walmart? Come on.
Um, I wonder if I could do something like maybe see, maybe change something here to like make
I've
it easier
never
to
had a
see.
flu shot, not once. I've had the flu, so I don't even want to hear the, well, if you get the flu, you'll feel different about it. No, I've had the flu. I had the flu when I was a kid. I had it when I went away to college. I've had the flu.
Is this easier to
It,
read? Sorry,
and I got well.
I want to
Across
make the.
the, not really.
I'm trying to make the chat easier to read. That's probably easiest right there, which kind of sucks, but I like the glowing one.
I even had the
Anyway,
one they were calling the Hong Kong flu. I had that. Okay. Couldn't keep a sip of water down. And then I got well. I let my immune system learn what it should do. And at almost 59, I have not had a flu shot and I don't plan to start. For me, it is even an extra risk because, as I've pointed out, autoimmune disease. And to do any of those crazy vaccines, I would have to stop my medication that is keeping me stable for 4 weeks. I'm not doing it.
so a lot of passionate comments here. Looks like Rose. I mean, I'm really happy that you have not had any adverse reactions. To be honest, like I love you. I hope that you don't have any adverse reactions, and I hope you do what you think is best for you. And if you think you need to take every booster ever offered for anything, or whatever it is, however you decide, I hope it really works out best for you. I really do. But at the same time, I can say that I don't think it works for everybody in every case, no matter what the the situation you're talking about. And I just don't think it can be cookie cutter. There's so much
I know
individuality
a
with
number of
each
people
case.
that the only time they catch the flu is after they've had the vaccine. And I don't mean they caught it from that. I just mean the years they decided to do that, they ended up catching the flu.
Right.
They stopped and they didn't get it anymore.
Andrew says I don't take anything that the government puts out, not ever, or not even the COVID shot. Rose says I've had it once in my life, the flu. I know I've had the flu for sure, and I know I've taken the flu shots as well. Never had any issue with a COVID shot vaccine. She said. That's good. I'm glad. I just don't think it should be forced upon people in order or they would lose their
That should not be mandatory.
status, right?
You
Yeah,
know what,
I
even with smallpox, I said this earlier, I feel like they shouldn't have stopped giving it, but even that should not be mandatory at this point. It should be available if you want to protect yourself from it. Because what happened? Every time we have some terrorist threat, we're like, oh my God, they've got, smallpox. And I know where they've got it, and it does still exist. It's in labs in two
right.
countries. Yes, smallpox does still
We're
exist. It
all
could
about
be used as a
preserving
weapon.
things, aren't we? Just like so.
Right, I know. United States has it. One other country has it. I'm not afraid of that though because okay, but that's a very different scenario. That's a very different type of disease and a very different type of vaccine.
100% Rose. She said it's my choice. I'm like, I agree.
Yeah, and it should be choice. It should be choice.
I've had cat scratch fever, Chris. Da da
Yeah,
da.
That's a
scratch.
bad one.
Brenda on the Facebook says I'm 65 and I will never get any vaccines. Oh yeah, because the pharmacy is at the complete opposite end of Walmart than the doors. What? Oh, she said they ask me every time every year if I want a flu shot. Right. I don't ever put a mask on either. Well, I don't get sick. I just die and come back. She said,
You have to know
yeah,
also
she has come back from
you
back to life a couple times on the
you
operating
are
table.
shedding something from some of these vaccines, whether you think that or not. You are. For example, let's go to the other type. Okay, the flu vaccine that's a nasal spray. I can't be in the room with someone who's having that administered. That's how dangerous that is for me.
Mm,
Okay.
the nasal spray one. You got a smallpox scar at age 5, Brenda? Brenda, come on over to Rumble. Jess, come over to Rumble.
Well, yeah, you get a scar from the vaccination. Mhm.
Jess says, I got MRCA and I survived. MRSA? I think everybody
Or
has
so
MRSA.
that's it. It exists. Yeah, it's in the environment, but whether it takes hold is the question.
Hmm.
It's just it's a resistant bacteria. Yeah.
Right. Or maybe it was something else, but I remember working in the hospital and they're like, yeah, it's basically, like most people have it, but like whether it's like
Yes.
enough in your system to cause some kind of adverse reaction.
There's three levels of it. One, it just is present. Two, you can be colonized. It can be present in your nose, but not an infection. My grandmother had that. And
Mm.
then an infection is the worst thing that could happen because now you got to treat it and it's difficult to treat.
There was something else. There was MRSA and there was something else that I remember we were constantly cleaning with like bleach and all this stuff in order to make sure we
Staph,
killed it. Staph is
staph
another one, but there was something
and strep.
else. Mm, I can't
Yeah,
remember
staph
now.
and strep are both
This was in
present.
the surgical area, so like we were, it was a little different, but there was a MRSA and something else that that they kept talking
Well,
about.
there's
And then
flesh
again,
eating there's flesh eating varieties too.
yeah.
I know someone who almost died from that. Yeah.
Well, these are people like a bunch of us that are like cleaning operating rooms. Like we're not like the medical terminology specialists either. So I'm sure that some of what they were throwing around at me, like I don't know, but I know MRSA was one of them. But another one was like
MRSA
C
is the
diff. That's it, Rose.
methicillin
You
one.
got it. C diff. She got it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different.
I know they're different
So
things,
that's
but that was the two
when
things that they said a lot at the hospital.
that's typically when you lose the beneficial flora, bacteria in your gut. C. diff proliferates, and yeah, that's can be very serious. Yeah,
You were in
and
the
if you
hospital
have
for
an area
15
that's
days with
infected with it, that's
it. Yeah, she did. Jess was in 15 days in the hospital. I survived. I thank the gym every day for that. Yeah. You thank the gym, you don't thank the Lord. She thanks the gym. Thank you, Jim, for your weights and your pressures and things. I hear
both.
you. I hear you. I mean, think who you gotta think, but keep on moving, Jess. Um, all right, we got a half hour. Let me see here. We got a couple more
Yeah,
RFKs.
Chris, that's how it's treated. Yeah.
We have already finalized regulations that are now requiring all hospitals in country to post and certify their prices. What? Rose, I want to hear you disagree with this one.
What is this?
We have already finalized regulations that are now requiring all hospitals in the country to post and certify their prices.
Post their
And so
prices.
patients will be able to, if you go into a
What?
restaurant, you are able to see the price on the menu. If a car dealer told you, you can buy this car, but I'm not going to tell you the price till afterward, you would not buy it. But that is what the hospitals are asking you to do. We have already finalized.
All right, I'll push back on this before I even get to the comments. I've worked in a car repair business. I worked at Sears Automotive, okay? And you could not always come in there and I could not always tell you what your final price will be until we do the work
You
because
have to estimate.
Yeah, it has to be an estimate. And so but they don't give
Hospitals
us
don't.
estimates either, though, right? Give us something, right? So there's a happy medium there. But I would say, like, they can't fully tell you what the price is going to be because they get in there and they start taking things apart and cutting you apart and pulling this out and pulling that out. And
So what
oh shit, this
happens?
doesn't
What
fit to
happens
that.
if you what happens if you hit a point where you know you're going to go over the estimate? You know what you got to do? You got to call the client because you can't go over the estimate legally without discussing it with them. But this is not what hospitals do. They don't
Mhm.
estimate and they won't answer questions. And we had
They don't
a
have
bill
to.
that
That's the
hit us
problem.
after yeah, we had a bill that hit us after the hospital saying everything's covered when Jim was in there for a week. They sent us a bill for $5,000. And I said, what the hell are we supposed to do with this? I stuck it on the bulletin board. I said, you're going to have to handle this one. I ain't talking to nobody because I'm going to bite someone's head off.
Yeah.
So, he made some calls and we haven't heard anything else. But this is what they do. First, they will not estimate, they will not answer questions. They send you bills and they think that you're just going to pay it without a fight. You must make calls. You have to call the insurance company and call the hospital and say, what is this? You got to fight with them. You can get rid of it, but they just rely on the average person going, oh, I owe this, and they pay it. Yeah,
Hmm. Oh,
they
Rose,
won't
don't
be
make
able to
fun of
do
a
that
man
anymore.
from his speech impediment or his disability. It's kind of rough. His voice is rough, but it's not his fault. It was a
Yeah,
vaccine injury actually caused it.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
but
you guys, I mean,
that's superficial.
I have
Yeah.
struggled. I have had problems with my voice because of my illness. So I very much understand that. And I used to sing. Now sometimes I can, but it's very difficult from one day to the next. My voice is stronger now than God, this antivirus. No, get off my screen. God, they are aggressive with that. No, I'm not reinstalling it right now. Um, from one day to the next, I don't know. My voice is stronger this year than it has been in a long time. But, that's not my fault. It is a health condition. Same thing with him.
That's like saying, "Oh, you can't even walk correctly if you have a problem with your legs or something like that's." And I mean, you can think he's not masculine or whatever that comment's about, but like that's really weird that you would go there about this. Now, I would say like she said he's done too many drugs off the toilet seat. I mean, hey, he's no Hunter Biden,
Not
but he might
Biden.
have done a couple. He might have done some drugs in his time. I've probably done as many as he has, but not Hunter Biden. Not Hunter Biden. I couldn't hold a candle to him. Let's not get into that. That's just fun little opinion kind of side note. But listen to this though, because this is kind of interesting. We were talking about Lyme disease a little bit ago. Says RFK Jr. says the government is no longer ignoring Lyme disease. Lyme disease has been a hidden disease because the government has been denying its existence. Prior to me getting in, NIH were telling the American people it's a myth. It doesn't exist. It doesn't really exist. I don't know about that. I don't remember hearing that. We've changed all that. We're conducting a Lyme roundtable with the best experts from around the country. We're putting large amounts of money into Lyme research. So many millions and millions of Americans have that disease and don't know it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about his info here as far as that goes, as how many people have it or whatever. But it's interesting that the NIH has not been acknowledging it. I guess that's just sort of I don't know. Do your own research on that one, but I guess we're going to be seeing more about Lyme disease coming up. This next one here is from uh, Midas Charisse Charisse Lee getting gas in Tehran. So this lady's getting gas in Iran. Check this out. I don't know if it's necessarily. I don't know why I thought this was relevant to save. I guess it matters. Maybe we can skip this one. She's just talking about this like she's in a line that's a mile long to try to get gas in Iran. I don't know why I saved that one.
Hmm.
It doesn't
Yeah, I
seem.
saw that one before.
See
It
this
was
one.
interesting because their gas is they have a card.
Mm-hmm.
Just the overview of it. They have a card. It's super cheap because it's subsidized. And then if they use up that amount, then it's free. It sounds so backwards to us. Like, wouldn't the price go up? No, it's free after a certain point. Take a
Um,
while to get gas, but it's free.
okay, I'm just reading your comment there. I didn't see it. Okay, this next one here, Steak and Shake has announced the hiring of its first chief Maha officer. I don't know if we talked about this before. I feel like we did, but maybe not. Michael
Yeah.
Bowes joins SNS Steak and Shake in this new executive role dedicated to advancing nutritional integrity and ingredient transparency and the healthiest of and the healthiness of our products. Okay, did we talk about this already? Maybe
Not
not.
sure.
Movie marks a major step in the company's, or the move marks a major step in the company's efforts to restore the original spirit of American fast food, food that is simple, fast, and delicious. Customers should never have to choose between taste and health. Taste and health. I think that's not the right choice. Uh, Convenience and health is the two choices because you can get
Yeah.
tasty food at a restaurant that takes longer or tasty food from cooking it at home. It's the convenience that we're choosing over the health. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but that's a quote from
I
Steak and Shake.
recently found out, I didn't realize this, but Outback, for like anything they're frying, they actually use tallow. I did not know this. They've
Who?
always used tallow.
Outback?
Outback,
Oh,
I didn't know
interesting.
that. Yeah.
Gonna change the food triangle
I was
again?
researching
No. This is
steakhouses.
Steak and Shake, Chris. They're not changing the food triangle. They're changing the food menu. Sorry, Thalia. He says when restaurants commit to both, they serve better food and build lasting trust, both taste and health. I mean, yeah, okay. He's like literally that. What that sounds like to me, and I'm sure it was an off the cuff statement by him, but that sounds like he's saying that only fast food tastes good and everything else is healthy. Anyway, that just bothers me. That little tiny little piece of what he said. Steak and Shake believes that burgers, fries, and shakes should be made from real ingredients families know and love. Good luck sourcing all of that Steak and Shake and have it, ice cream, real ingredients without anything added. Like, just,
Price. It's going to be a price point thing. But then
oh
the
yeah,
last time I saw a Steak and Shake, I was in Vegas, and of course prices are elevated there, so I don't really have a gauge on it because
you don't have one around?
I don't know if we even have one. I
Oh,
don't
I
think
know
we
where
have
like
one
three
here.
of them are. Like within 5 minutes,
Huh.
like probably 10 minutes from me at the most.
Not a big thing in my area.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's huge around here.
Interesting.
Let's see. Polymarket says NASA unveils new next gen space telescope that Chief Isaacman says will capture images so large there is not even a screen in existence large enough to show them. Like, okay,
Alrighty.
okay, like, is that just like saying I'm super fast? Watch this. You didn't see me. I just ran around my house and came back. Like, you're just not able to perceive the speed that I'm moving at. You just can't. That's kind of like, it's almost like, did it really happen? Or but here's my question though, and jokes aside, I can pull up like paint or Photoshop or something and look at an image that is too big for the screen, and I can like click and drag it around, right? Does that make sense? Like an image that's bigger than what you can see on the screen, you're seeing a little piece of it, and
Yeah.
you can drag that image around. Like, wouldn't you still be able to do that? Anyway, that's just a text situation, but that's a
So the
funny thing.
closest Steak and Shake to me is over in Riverside. It's like half an hour, but there's one. And then Aliso Viejo, Santa Monica, Burbank, Compton, Yucca Valley, they're all like an hour and a half away. So yeah, there none in my area really. One in Riverside.
Hmm. Well, I guess you probably got what do they got? In and Outs or Whataburgers or
Oh yeah.
something over there. Yeah, I don't have any of
In
that
and
over
Out,
here.
Red Robin,
We got
um,
Yum. Sorry, we got one of
Places
those.
that I won't eat, like Taco Bell and Del Taco and all that. I'm
Oh,
a
yeah, keto.
Chick-fil-A. I don't, yeah,
You're not a
Chick-fil-A more.
Chick-fil-A fan?
Popeye's chicken. Never eaten it one. Never had a reason to. And then when I researched their ingredients, I was like, yeah, okay, no.
But they're a
Popeyes,
Christian
KFC.
company. They
I
should learn.
will eat at Pollo Loco.
We need some Christians to pressure Chick-fil-A to use better ingredients because they're supposedly
Right?
a Christian-based company. They're not open on Sundays, right? They're not Christian-based, I guess. Christian values, I guess,
Yeah.
maybe it's a better way to put
Christian
it.
owned. They're
Right,
Christian
Christian
owned,
owned
yeah,
is
just like
definitely
Hobby
true.
Lobby.
So maybe we should be like putting a little pressure on people like that stand behind this moniker of, oh, we're not open on Sundays because we're a Christian owned company. Okay, well, look at this ingredients list that you're feeding
Better
us.
care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what the hell? That's a
And
little
you know
bit.
what? Like, if I'm gonna like, I would not drive to Riverside specifically to eat at Steak and Shake. If I'm gonna drive a distance, I'm gonna go all the way to Huntington Beach, 80 miles away, to eat at Calico Fish House with Andrew Gruel. Okay. One, because I watched that man fight so hard to stay open during the shutdowns. He is a right wing conservative and a God fearing man. He and his wife are lovely. I worked with them twice at that location, sorting donations for the people after the Malibu fires. So I got to meet them. And he fed me at no charge for doing that. I got to try their food at no cost. And it's amazing. He cooks with tallow. That's the reason that I shifted over to it, was because I watched what he was doing. His whole model for his food in his restaurant is amazing, and the prices are not through the roof. Okay. And he's also got Santa Carrata beef there, which is grass fed, carrot finished. This is very unique. And apparently the beef that they produce is quite amazing. I haven't tried that yet, but if I'm going to drive a distance, that's where I'll go. I may suggest to Jim to do that for his birthday because he's talking about steakhouses, but I'm thinking, you wanted to try Calico Fish House. Let's go
Hmm.
there.
Isn't it like, okay, I'm going to butcher this because I thought of it yesterday and I didn't really write it down, but there's something about like the more wealthy you get, that's why you eat fancier and fancier food because there's a subliminal or maybe a instinctual sort of drive to have better and better nutrition, right? But we don't always have that right when we think more expensive is better nutrition, and so but then you end up with these like $1,000 plates where it's like just this tiny little something on it, whatever, with these crazy meals because oh the ingredients are sourced from this special you know farm up on the Alps and like I don't know like just like there's this
There's a cross section,
yeah
like some
there's
people who are poor are going to eat poorly and others won't. And same thing with wealthy. I think it's just a matter of making personal decisions on it. And I think it goes across the spectrum of financial status.
well okay now I'm remembering part of what I was thinking is that it's not always just because oh I'm rich and I want to eat this expensive food. The food sometimes is expensive because of the process that it or not just the process that it's grown or made or in, but also the scarcity of it or the supply and demand of it, right? So then that's when you have this
Yeah.
special cow that's being bred in this one farm in Ireland, and that's the only place in the whole world that you can get it, and like that's why that one steak costs $1,000 or something, and that's where you can get that because of the this supply
Yeah.
demand. You know what I mean? It's not just because the
Even
steak is that good.
A2, even A2 milk, which is produced by grass-fed, consistently grass-fed cows. Um, Typical commercial milk has A1 protein. It's what a lot of people react to. So because to them it's more work to make sure they are consistently grass-fed, grass-finished. The beef is going to cost more, the milk is going to cost more, that kind of thing. But what I really get is I'm in San Bernardino, Dawn. Um, what I really don't get is please leave the garbage out of my food. Why are you charging me more to leave the garbage out of my food? Fewer ingredients, right?
Hmm.
And their excuse is, well, but we have to replace it with a more expensive ingredient. Well, not if you'll just keep doing that.
Hmm.
It'll shift the market. And that's what consumers are finally demanding. It's why we now have potato chips on the shelf that are cooked in tallow instead. And the price is coming down because customers are demanding it.
I think
Customers
it's
like,
a little more
okay, no more
nefarious than
skim
that. I think, and this is my opinion totally, but you guys can come up with your own. I think it's even worse than that. Those inputs that you're saying that they could just leave out. Why are they adding this stuff in? They're being
Yeah,
paid to add that stuff in because companies that are, say, trying to get rid of said chemical, it's a byproduct, it's the thing they don't need, but then they find out, oh, we change a molecule around, suddenly we've got, folic acid or whatever. We can put it in food. Well, so that
yeah,
becomes that takes it from a thing that costs them money to get rid of, because it costs them money to actually dispose of things, right? And then they can pay less than what that cost is to a company in order to take it. And so what are they doing? They're not making more money, but they are saving a bunch of money by finding somebody who will buy it, because what's going on? The company that buys it needs, like, they think they need it because they're being sold it, right? Okay, hey, folic acid, that's going to be good for people. All right, we need this. It's cheaper than getting actual folate.
greed is part
So,
of it.
yeah, like they're all finding
But
ways to save money and
to
yeah.
go more nefarious, we've said this, Big Pharma has a hand in it. I mean, we can't deny it anymore. The evidence is there.
Well, they
It's
have more
terrible,
knowledge
but
about it than we have for a long time, so they've definitely
yeah.
known about some of this stuff. That's for sure. And that's so funny
I
because it
never
looks
bought
like I
into
have
the whole they want to keep us sick thing, but here we are.
it just looks like I have this excited hat on right
What in
now.
the
Let me
world?
just try to sit still if I can. Thanks, Don, for the for the hat thing.
No,
Hey, I'll give it to you real quick
I
here. There
don't
you
have
go.
flashy lights.
You have a flashing light forehead with dancing bananas on it if you hold still. They're on your
It's
eyebrows.
funny. Oh, here we go.
that dance. Now you have like a lay of dancing
Like a
bananas
tiara.
and yes, very nice. Not a lay. A lay is around the neck, right? Anyway, that's funny. All right, we got 10 minutes. Let me read a couple more before we get out of here, guys. Remember, you got to be here to win the door prize. So let's hype it up. Hit the like button and share it out. We got 19 on the Rumble. Very awesome. Um, I want to say, if anyone's watching us on X, I did say it earlier when I posted the thumbnail. If you're watching us on X, comment below the video so that we can see that you were there, or come and find us somewhere that we can actually see the live chat. It's kind of annoying, but I do see that every time you share it on Wednesdays, there's definitely people that pop through at least. So if somebody's watching us, come and find us somewhere else.
I think I was
Or
able to get in. I think I was able to get at. Yeah. So somehow it's on. Watch.
on X.
Let's see. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, because I have
I
access to it. I don't
should be
see it
able
on
to.
the screen when I type it, but yeah, it's there.
The live chat is only for the. Um, it's somehow
While you're
set up
live.
for just, what do you call it?
It's not like it
Blue
was in
checks or whatever.
Periscope, because in Periscope we could see the comments on the replay, but that doesn't exist anymore. They made sure of that.
I see. There's comments. I just moved you out of the way. Our comments are there. We just can't see them on the studio. But it's also that
Yeah, it's weird.
I would like to fix the issue to where only blue checks can comment, because I'd like it for anyone to comment. But it's a Rumble Studios to X connection kind of issue,
Um,
and I can't do
if
anything
you
about it.
you would have to set all of your posts on X for that, which you could do just temporarily while you're live. It's going to automatically go to that setting when you connect.
I would do
And
that
if you
for
didn't want
all
it set that
time.
way, you could change it later.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind that at all. I would keep it that way all the time. Let's see.
Yeah.
Privacy. Um, would it be privacy or
It's
security?
only gonna, well, you might be able to change it right now actually because it's a post.
Accessibility display and language, maybe. or maybe
And,
go to the post itself.
yeah, the
Anyway,
post. That's where you.
oh, I see. Okay.
Now I don't know whether actually that's a good question right now. I don't know whether that affects the live chat, but it will change it for the comment bubble on
I
your
see.
post. Yeah, change it for
Change
reply.
who can
Yeah, and
reply.
they have a new one in there.
Everyone. Look, it's
See that
set to
accounts you
everyone.
follow. Look, accounts
Uh-huh.
you follow and who they
Ah,
follow. See, that's a new one. So there's that, but verified is right there at the bottom. Yeah.
yeah, and see, it's set to everyone, and this is why I think it's some kind of
Mhm.
glitch between Rumble and X because it still won't let anyone comment unless they're verified. So I think someone tried that anyway. Not the end of the world. Let me check out this here from the High Wire. The American Medical Association was formed at least in significant part to abolish homeopathy. That is documented history, and it's explained a great deal about why a 250-year-old system of medicine used by millions around the world is still treated as fringe in the United States. Well, let's listen to what they have to say. They go on to say more in the chat
So
there.
what happened to it? When did it start getting attacked?
Homeopathy has always been attacked. When 250 years ago, when Dr. Samuel first discovered homeopathy, there was a
Homeopathy.
renaissance of
Okay.
homeopathy in the United States. And Del,
Wait, am I wrong to think that's what we normally say homeopathy? She's got an accent, so maybe
Homeopathy.
okay.
Nope. Homeopathy is
the
correct.
American
Yeah.
Medical Association was actually formed primarily with the interest to abolish homeopathy. But having said that, it is widely used by millions around the world, and all those attempts just make us stronger, I believe.
You also have an issue. I always think about the story of, Tesla and Edison, and all of a sudden, JP Morgan can't make money off of it. Tesla can charge the ionosphere. We all get free energy. He's like, well, how am I going to make money? I think it's a similar problem with homeopathy because you have a real issue with patents and things like that. Is that right?
Correct. So homeopathic medicines are all made from natural substances,
Mhm.
Del. And as you know, natural substances cannot be patented. There's not a whole lot of money to be made in homeopathic medicines.
Is there legislation happening in this country to try and get a different perspective or have, homeopathy seen a different way?
Americans for Homeopathy Choice is an amazing consumer advocacy organization that has put into place legislation called HR 7050. And we need support. We need support from your audience that protects the consumer. It ensures the safe regulation of homeopathic medicines while still providing access. And so please support our bill because that will make a huge difference for many generations to come.
That's kind of big. Like we
Yeah.
need access to that, and if it's money and greed
Yeah.
that is the
They've
only.
been trying for a long time, that every time we turn around, let's look back at a supplement issue, okay?
Hmm.
We used to take L-tryptophan, the amino acid. Now I take 5-HTP now, which is more bioavailable, but L-tryptophan was the originally. You can get that now, but for several years you couldn't. And why? One bad batch that came out of China, one, and they yanked it all. They yanked all of it. They said, no, this supplement is dangerous. It's not. It's an amino acid. But the FDA and all these little organizations are always trying to find a way to yank that out of our control. This is the United States. We have a constitution. We have protections for this, but they try. Okay. So yeah, I don't trust these organizations anymore because of that.
It's like if you're a successful company that produces medications and you see this, you think of it as a victimless crime where you start using some of all that money you have to pump out propaganda that says, "Oh, don't use whatever blank homeopathy natural remedy. It's just hogwash or whatever. That's not right." And so you see this like opportunity to make money by just demonizing the things that people have available that are free instead of using some of that energy. I can't imagine. So this also connects to inventions and machinery and stuff that people invent in order to, or controlled obsolescence, or obsolescence, I guess, is or no, planned obsolescence is the term. where they make something knowing they could make it last longer, but they can't do that because then they would lose money. And my whole point on that, the same thing goes with medicine. Move on to the next thing. You made a thing that lasts a lot longer. Move on to the next one. There's
Yeah.
many things, many the medical side and technology, whatever you point at. One thing I always think of is like the car battery. They can make a car battery, and I don't know if the legend is true where there was this inventor that had a car battery or a carburetor. So I forget the exact story, but something that could last 100 years. But then they bought it up when they hid the patent and shelved it, and so I don't think powers that be would ever shelve something. They might keep it from regular people, but I don't think they would ever find some crazy invention that's amazing and be like, "Oh, no one can have this." Somebody would still use it. I mean, it's gonna,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Military, if nothing else, right? Yeah,
yeah, if
yeah,
nothing
that's
else,
true.
yeah. So, but yeah, it's just a weird
But yeah, I
dichotomy
mean,
where people think,
obviously, I utilize everything natural that I can,
mhm.
and homeopathic formulas is a part of that. You know,
"Oh,
there's
it's
a lot of.
hogwash."
It's funny because the basis of it is highly debatable. If you look at it from uh, I don't know what perspective, but here's the thing: in a realm where we use vaccines that function the same way, they don't want to admit that it's the same thing. Okay. And people don't realize this. So, what do you do with a vaccine? You've got what's the word they use? It's not dead, but attenuated.
Dormant. Oh, okay.
So, it's attenuated. Um, so, you're using that virus, the problem, to create immunity in your body. Understand what homeopathy is. You are taking, for example, with an allergy formula, you're taking uh, things that would cause those symptoms, like even something as simple as onion. Okay,
Mhm.
so something like that, or the irritating, problematic allergen in micro doses and putting it into your body, and your body responds by going, "Oh, let me fix that." Right? It's the
Right. I
same
can handle
thing
this. Yeah.
as an inoculation. But these people who insist you need to be inoculated for this virus say, oh no, homeopathy is junk science. It's the same thing.
It's just
So
not
yes, it does
labeled behind
work.
some company that makes you think. And that's the same phenomena that I don't know what it's labeled, but there's a phenomena that people will do almost anything if somebody tells them to do it, if they're wearing like a white coat and have a stethoscope around their neck. And that's probably changed, but that was a statistic, like maybe not a statistic, but like I guess a saying or maybe a true thing years ago. I don't know if that's the case today, but definitely is changing, if not fully changed.
Hmm.
But yeah, there was this thing about like this authority figure, the person that's dressed the part and talking the part, that we want to believe more than the
Yeah.
the crazy lady that smells like patchouli that lives in the cabin down the lane. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, there's a lot to that.
Here's an example for you. I take garlic oil capsules for a number of reasons. They're good for heart health, but it's mostly for my respiratory system problems that I have with that. It also keeps mosquitoes off of me.
Hmm.
And they love me and I react severely because I have autoimmune disease. And I
Oh
mean
yeah, that makes sense.
severely.
That makes sense.
So,
Be-
yeah.
Because they
So I
would
take garlic
notice.
oil capsules.
Do you think
But
it's
think about
because
this. You take
they recognize the weakness? Is it like a
no,
susceptibility
it's
maybe or
just
something? They can smell it.
there's no particular reason, but it
Mm,
keeps them off of me at any rate. They'll bite
interesting.
anybody in reality. You know,
Right.
but if you think about this, so if I'm taking it for the respiratory problems, which is, coughing, postnasal drip, whatever, like that, right? How does your body react if you get a clove of garlic and just bite into it? If you've ever done that with onion or garlic, your nose runs, you might cough, your eyes are going to water.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm gonna cry.
that is an example, even though it's not technically homeopathic when you're taking garlic oil in a capsule, that is an example of a smaller dose of it
Mhm.
that helps deal with those symptoms. Yeah.
That
There's
makes
more to
sense.
it than that, the compounds that are in it, but that's part of it.
I
Yeah.
mean, I could relate that to microdosing with psilocybin. I mean, they
Yes.
are people do it for medical benefits, and people do a macro dose for medical benefits too, not just recreational, but maybe you can mix the two together. That I think we're finding out these days. But the macro dose can be sort of a full reset. You know, you kind of go through a very sort of intense experience, if you will, for a few hours, and then for a few months, they're saying, I guess the new studies are saying it's like 3 to 6 months. It can actually rewire your pathways and actually help you with addiction and PTSD and all this stuff. And then you might have to do another one. But then there's the other opposite of the microdose, which is like sort of doing a small bit all the time, and you never have to have the severe or more intense psychological or psychedelic experience. Yeah, it's an interesting dichotomy because people don't want you don't want a handful of you know virus or sickness, but you might want a little under the weather here and there because your body's doing something. It's like
Yeah.
fighting something off and maybe getting a little stronger because of it. You just don't want to feel like you're sick all the time. Like there's a tipping point, right? You're somebody that's like, okay, I never get sick. That could be because you're too sterile, right? You're somebody that's just, oh, they're finding out. Did you see? I don't know if I had a story for this, but the like Purell and stuff, hand sanitizer, not good for us. I
No,
forgot the
definitely not.
I
We've known
forgot.
this for a long time.
Okay, I forgot what the story was. I saw it was something new. I think it was because it's drying your
It's
skin out
just
or
like
something.
inoculation. You need to be exposed to local pathogens.
Hmm.
This is a lot of times why people who travel will end up with digestive upset by drinking the local water and eating, produce that, it's not always because it has a really bad pathogen on it. It's because it's a different pathogen. You are accustomed to what's local to you, and you
Hmm.
bring something foreign into your system and your body reacts. But yeah, we've known that for a while, and certain triclosan is the worst. I will not use soaps or hand sanitizers that have that in it because
Mm.
not only is it killing everything off, but like, look, I'll use just basic alcohol, those kind of hand sanitizers when I've been in a store because I don't want to, like I just did just now. I'm at home, so I'm safe to do this. But if I touch my face when I'm out, invariably I'm going to get sick. It's just the way I am.
Mm.
But triclosan is absorbed transdermally, and it can cause some very serious damage over the years to your internal organs. We've known that for a while. Yeah.
I've never
Oh,
heard that term. I didn't read it for a while either until just a little bit, like maybe 15 seconds ago. So when I actually looked at the screen, I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be interesting. Something good. But here's what
alrighty.
it was actually scrolled up a little bit. So all I saw was shrinking penises, night terrors, 200 long. Whoa, whoa. And then I scrolled up a little bit. Oh, okay, making a little more sense here.
This is what I'm working with, guys.
Okay, we got to read about this. We're over time, but we're gonna pick grab this last one, and then we'll do the door prize. This is from sudden and unexpected, quote in quotes. They went from mild cough to your dick might shrink real quick. This is from so that's a picture of an article from Mirror, I guess, News, and I'll read it again. Shrinking penises and night terrors among 200 long COVID symptoms found in study. I feel like a bunch of men just wanted to throw that in there. Hey, yeah, my penis is small too. Why'd you guys do that to me? Like we need government funding to reverse the penis sizes
Oh,
right now. They're like, yeah, but some people can't
wow.
smell, sir, and other people have respiratory issues. Yeah, but my penis is too small. Okay, sorry. I just want to keep saying penis. Let's see. Long haulers, long haulers from around the world have reported hundreds of
Oh,
suspected signs and symptoms of long COVID, ranging from tinnitus to brittle nails. A study from University College London's Sainsbury Wellcome Center has found. Wow, it sounds more like in Sainsbury. Let's see what some other
I had
comments have
the
to say.
problem with olfactory, smell and taste both. And in fact, even though most of it has come back, it's not just a lack of it, but it alters the way certain things smell or taste. And
I That's
it's
definitely
mostly
one
come
that
back,
I've
but I
heard.
still
Yeah,
have I still have episodes of it where something someday, and it'll just be like, it doesn't taste right. And I'll
yeah.
have to ask Jim, does this taste right? And it's me, it's not the food.
I think
Yeah.
that one is safe to say, like, is a real symptom, and I wouldn't say it's everybody gets it, but I think a lot of people who have
No,
had
not everyone.
COVID end up with that. But this is just funny. Like this one guy says, getting the clot shot makes your penis shrink. How many men would have refused the shot if they knew this? Another person says, I must have long COVID. And the other person says, I'm crying. I'm just fine. I don't know what they're talking about. And it's got this little tiny door stopper,
Wow.
a door stopper that's been like compressed that it won't come
Are we
back
really
out.
ending on that?
All right, we can do one more. We can do one more, but that's some good stuff,
Oh,
I
thank
guess.
God.
Meat. We can end on meat, right? This is from Sama Huli. When you
Oh,
cook
Sama,
a
yeah, I
kilo,
follow him.
okay, when you cook a
He's a
kilo of
strict
ground
carnivore.
beef, yeah, ground beef in a pan, and the fat I'm sorry, fat renders out and pools around the meat in a shrink or a shining golden puddle. Stir it back in. Yeah,
Yes.
like I usually do too. I try to keep a lot of that the grease. Like a lot of people, especially ground beef, will like strain it and like try to get all the grease out, thinking that they're
I
saving
have seen
themselves.
people wash ground beef after they cooked
Rinse
it.
it
That is
off. Yeah.
disgusting. Wash it off with water. What? No,
I just want the meat. No good stuff. No
that's
flavor. No
nasty.
taste. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
pretty crazy. Do
So
not
the
drain
reason
it.
the reason though for this on carnivore is you need 80% of your calories from fats, 20% from protein.
Well, I
And
don't
he
know
is
if
a
he
strict
even goes
carnivore.
into carnivore, but I'm sure he has that
No, he's a
bias at
strict
least.
carnivore.
Right, right. Let me
No,
just
no,
see what he says
seriously,
because
he's strict.
yeah, I'm interested though if he's just talking about in general or if it's because of carnivore. Just
No,
do
it's
not
because
tip
of
it into the
carnivore.
sink. Do not blot it with a piece of kitchen roll, and as though you have cut the meat doing something shameful. That puddle is the nutrition, but it's greasy. Quote. Yes, that's the point. That is the bit your body has been asking for all afternoon. The fat carries the fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K2 out of the animals
And it's
and into you.
satiating.
Right. It carries the calories that keep you full until tomorrow. It carries the satiety or
Satiety.
satiety. Yeah, like I know this. Know how to say it. Signal that stops you opening the cupboard at 9 o'clock, looking for something to finish the evening. Okay, so he goes on and
I
on. Yeah.
don't snack. I don't snack anymore, you guys. I don't. I have my bulletproof coffee. Generally Wednesdays I eat a little earlier because I'm going to be sitting here, but normally I don't eat until noon, sometimes later. So I eat whatever, break fast, at whatever time, my first
Mhm.
meal. And then I eat dinner. Once in a while I might, grab something that's a protein type snack like a beef stick or, something like that. But I don't snack. Period. So later at night I have some yogurt with blueberries. That's it. I don't feel compelled to, I need something, that all day long thing. I don't want it. I don't need it. Yeah.
Rose says I use organic bison. That sounds good. Chris says bear is
It's good, but
greasy.
it's very lean.
I can imagine bear
Bison is
being
very
greasy.
lean.
Yeah,
You
but
need to
bison
add fats if you're, yeah.
doesn't have the fats. Let's see,
Game
Kayla.
meat, yeah. And I say that as someone who, I like bison. But with bison and venison, you actually have to add something to it, like butter. You need extra fats, yeah.
Is that as lean as a rabbit or a rabbit?
Rabbit is the leanest. Rabbit is a problem.
Yeah,
Rabbit is a serious problem. That's how you end up with rabbit starvation or protein poisoning, and that's very, very real. So for those who don't know, just real quick, um, what happens is, let's say you're trying to you're in a survival situation, and all you've got is rabbits attaching. You need a source of fats. You need something else. You can do carbohydrates with it, if you've got plants, which helps, but fats are non-negotiable. They are essential. Without some level of fats, you will die. There's no, it might
Mhm.
take a little while and you're not going to like it, but yeah, you can't go without fats, period.
I wonder what the process is called, the opposite of ketosis, where sugar is turned into fat. What's that process
Diabetes.
called? Well, okay, but I mean, like in the natural, like
Yeah.
before diabetes, like when you eat, if you're eating sugary foods, lots of bread, lots of stuff, you're not eating like you, you think of it as fat because you're going to get fat, but you're not eating like fat from an animal, like you know what I mean? So, and I know
So your
there's a
body
difference.
is,
Saturated fat
it is,
bad or good for us now? I can't remember. Go ahead,
uh,
explain.
God, you're going to make me look it up.
I can't. I'm gonna have to look that up
Whatever
because I
meat
can't
has is
remember. I feel
good.
like that's yeah. Go
Well,
ahead.
here's what happens. Here's what finally clicked for me as far as carnivore. Your body runs on fats. It just does. So what happens when you're eating too much protein or you're eating the carbs and sugars, your body will convert it to fat. Yes.
Hmm.
Problem is it's so efficient at converting to that. It's easy to overdo it. Now you end up with the visceral fat, okay? And you can have non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver down the line. Not too far down the line. It doesn't take much to do it. You know, I even had a slightly enlarged liver in the past myself. Um, that's a warning. I recovered from it, thank goodness. So you're not necessarily guaranteed to have that if you're overweight, but you're headed for it, you know, if you stay that way for a long time. But yeah, your body will take those things and convert them into fat because that's what it most efficiently runs off of. Wow.
All right, it's breaking it down too far. So I said, what is saturated fat? Animal sources. So saturated fat is what we want. Animal sources, tropical plant oils, which would be our coconut oil, avocado oil, the oils that we actually can use. Palm oil, um,
Butter,
palm kernel
ghee,
oil. Which one?
tallow,
Tallow. Yeah.
butter, ghee, tallow,
Well,
lard.
it said animal sources. Yeah, all this stuff. Basically, it says whole milk. Although pasteurized milk doesn't have a lot in it. It's got fake.
I only like my only dairy is going to be cultured. It's going to be
Hmm.
cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, any kind of cheese. I don't drink cow's milk.
Processed food. So this is a. I think this is where I'm getting the confusion because we want saturated fats from butters and cuts of beef, pork, lard,
Yeah.
bacon, even bacon. Bacon might be a little much, but if you're in ketosis, like you're gonna
Oh, it's good.
go right through it. Yeah. But then it
Bacon is
says.
naturally 80/20.
Hmm, says processed foods, many baked goods, fried foods, and snacks use these fats. So you have that. So maybe that's where they got demonized. It's like, oh, the
Yeah.
saturated fats inside the
Because
snacks.
fats are not the problem, it's everything
Right.
else it's in.
Exactly. So like, okay, so you're telling me the one thing that's in the snacks that is that's worth eating it for. Um,
They
awesome.
fooled us. Don't eat
Right.
butter. There's some margarine. Never mind
Count.
that it's an industrial lubricant.
You better
Yeah.
count those calories. Count the calories. That was the big one when I was growing up. The Jenny Craig. You have those the lean cuisine. The lean cuisine, baby. Lean cuisine
Oh,
with
this is
like
so
nothing
nasty.
in it.
Or
Yeah,
the
there's nothing in it.
ingredients. One time I was like, those are gross.
All right, who's on Rumble, guys? Comment on the below, and I'll add you one more time on the Rumble. Chris, I see.
Um,
Rose.
Chris, you're
Rabbits
talking
are
about
very
hunting them.
bony, so they are. And so are squirrels. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna eat a rabbit, wouldn't you
Wild
like still?
hair. Yeah.
Wouldn't you boil the bones and try to get like the marrow and everything out of it, right? I'm not
That's
sure
the
how
thing. I
you would
mean,
do it.
it may seem nasty, but like if you get a wild one that's got that, you're gonna cook it very thoroughly anyway because there's other problems. There's diseases they can carry. So if you're hunting for something like that in a survival situation, I recommend Well Done.
You don't drink cow's milk. You stand too close to the microwave. What? Who are you, you asking that? Um, like, I mean, definitely don't stand too close to the microwave. They even say it for pregnant women to not stand within, I forget how far, but I don't use a microwave. So, okay. So who else we got?
I don't
Brenda,
get the correlation. I don't drink cow's milk because it upsets my stomach.
Dawn,
Pretty simple.
Andrew, Alice, Diane. Yeah, that's it. Okay, here we go. I got a half an hour. Of Rumble Premium time that I still have to do this month. Half an hour. And I got 2 days to do it. So I think I am going to head over to Rumble Premium here in just a minute. But yeah, here we go, guys. Da, da, da. Oh. I listened to myself play the harmonica the other day, and it was so terrible. It was so bad.
Kyle.
So bad.
Uh,
Kyle, are you
Hi.
here, brother? Kyle, he's our man. If he can't do it, he's probably not here.
Legion Kyle.
It just sounds what coming out on the mic on the other side. It's like you don't hear the bass as much. I think
Yeah, it's high.
that's a little lower, right? But it's all the way at the end here. So like I only got like 3 holes I could play really truly. That's still too loud. All right, Kyle might not be here. Kyle,
We
are you
blow
on the?
our own eardrums out.
Yeah, I'd have to go like. Can you still hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's close enough, I guess. All right, I guess Kyle is not
How could I
here.
be anti-cow if I eat nothing but steak?
Who said she's
Have you not been
anti-cow?
paying attention? The whole milk thing. I eat steak every day. Of course, I'm not anti-cow. I'm
Have you had
ketovore. I've been saying that.
Have you had raw milk ever? I don't know. We probably asked you that, but
It's
I've
not
never had it.
recommended because my immune system is not normal.
Yeah. I wonder if
Too much
there's some
risk.
like.
I would like to, but I don't want to risk it.
I wonder if there's like some other process we could do to it
Jess
that's
R.
not killing everything that's in it.
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
like something else.
Kefir. Remember I told you I drink goat milk kefir?
Oh, okay.
So that process gives you almost the same nutrition profile as raw milk. So that's actually safe. Yeah.
Your dog was looking at the harmonica, Jess. I'm sorry. It's my dog doesn't like it when I play either.
See what you did?
I really thought I was getting better at it, you guys.
In the background we
It's
hear.
real low tone. Yeah. Just a very this is all I can play for you guys. That's it. That's all you can get now.
Chris, you just haven't been paying attention. I've been saying from day one on this show that I am ketovore. I've been keto for over a year. I've been saying over and over, all I eat is steak and blueberries. I've made that joke so many times.
She's told her story of being a vegan or vegetarian at times. So maybe that's what you're mixing up, Chris. I don't know. That could be it.
Yes, I eat cheese. Look, 5 minutes ago I said cottage cheese, any kind of cheese, Greek.
Chris.
Wake up. Send Chris some coffee.
You're going to have to start taking notes, Chris. My dog doesn't care. He ignores it and goes to sleep. Well, congrats, Jess. I know you're here. I can see you. So you got if you're still subscribed over on Locals, you just got a coupon. You still on Locals, Jess?
Steak.
Coupon. So, we didn't talk about the told you I was going to bring up this weekend. So I have a local grow
Cottage
shop
cheese is
that
good.
does. Oh, yeah, that's good. It's good. That's cultured, right? A little bit. Um,
There's
what was I
lots of
gonna-
different types of cheese. Walmart carries it's called, I think they're calling it farmer cheese, which is closer to the Clabber cheese. They actually have one now.
What'd you call it? Clabber?
Clabber is, you're not gonna like, Clabber is what my grandmother grew up with, that is similar to cottage cheese, but nobody has it anymore almost. Yeah. A lot of different types.
Um,
I have made the Russian, essentially farmer cheese, tvareg. I've made that myself. I got instructions from my friend in Siberia.
that's okay,
Interesting.
Jess. I hope it settles down for you soon, and you can join us again. But this get that you just got a game night ticket at least, so you'll be in the game night anyway, along with Amber H and Kyle, who both are not members either, and both get game night tickets. So, and this Friday is going to be interesting. I don't know. I kind of expect some glitches and things, and this is where I was trying to tell you, Tala, is my game show. I moved it to Friday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time, and not only did I move it to Friday nights, but I also have an in-person or in like a location to do it at, to where we can also live stream it. And I'm gonna go there later today and check out the signal and see if it's strong enough, and maybe get us a hotspot, and I don't know what other equipment I might need. Plus, I have my son every other Friday night, and so his mom was already at it. Like, I'm like, I guess I'll just never do something with my life then. Anyway, my son can go with me to these events, but they are typically, it's a cannabis friendly place, so I don't know.
Okay.
I'll be stressed out trying to do my show, going, stop it, get him. Do you see him? I don't know. It's just
Did
sorry.
you did you catch that, like now they're promoting live streaming on X? Now they want to?
This Ashley gal that I had on my show, she's just been posting like crazy, because she's like, oh, I've been in backroom discussions with these big wigs, and all this big money is going into it now, I guess, or all these big companies and stuff. And I'm like, they've been doing this, like looking at it and researching and figuring that stuff out for years. Do we want to do a podcast yet? I don't know. It wasn't right. It wasn't the right time, but now you see everybody doing it. And yeah, I agree with her
A
in a
whole
lot of
bunch of people
ways.
jumping on and live streaming on X now, like, ooh, it's
Yeah,
the newest thing. And I'm like, man, I've been doing this for 10 years.
a lot
We
of people are
asked
saying
them
that.
to
Yeah.
increase our visibility, to promote us, to give us a niche, because they integrated it and killed Periscope.
Hmm.
Now they want to promote it. Now that, Greg shut down the community that we had, they're going to shut down all the communities now. Okay, those are going away. So I'm moving my people over to Discord for that.
Yeah, I'm thinking
But now
about.
that,
Yeah.
all the live streamers have scattered, now they want to promote it.
So because all the big guys, meaning, and I don't just mean like the big companies, but people that are
Gamers.
a couple 100,000 followers and higher, can just walk right into the podcast space
Yeah.
without ever having
Yeah.
had done that. And you know what? No shade on them, because typically that means that they did a lot of long form, like writing, big posts, doing other types of content that got them to that following level,
Yeah.
and then they can just sort of step into live video all of a sudden. And like, I know a couple like that
But
that just
who are
jump
they? Is it
right into it.
quality? Because I don't know. I don't know
Right?
any of them. And
Yeah.
what I do
Well.
know is Nikita has pissed off everyone on the platform because he trolls. He says, I want to deprecate communities so bad.
Mhm.
45 days later, okay, this is not because they're not active. It's because he doesn't like it. He doesn't want to maintain it. Yeah, I said it. Then, he'll say, I want to do this, but then, oh, we're not doing that. We're just discussing it, right? So he says, we're getting rid of communities. And then he says, oh, well, um, big streamers who have a lot of activity, we might let them keep their communities. But screw the rest of us who just spent how long building?
Hmm.
So yeah, he's not in favor. Everybody is in fact telling Elon to fire him. That's how ugly
Wow,
it's got.
that's crazy. I haven't
And
really
he's
been
head of
paying
product.
attention.
Oh yeah,
The
the pitchforks and the torches are out. People are mad.
So on Facebook, that is a big portion of the engagement is inside the groups. A bunch of different people's groups. It's kind of like when I was in high school, I could kind of float around to the jocks or the nerds, or I could float around over here to the stoners, and I could talk to the band geeks and stuff, and I could kind of jump around to different groups of people, right? And I never really had my own group of people, but now I do, right? All of you guys out there. But the thing is, like, that's what that kind of represents. It's like that neighborhood and that neighborhood and that neighborhood, and they're not,
That's
and
what
they kind of
communities were
went
supposed
away
to
from it.
mimic.
Right. That's what it should have. But at the same time, Facebook kind of stepped away from, like, they don't promote, like, the algorithm doesn't like groups anymore. So
No.
it's all grassroots
Do you know what
inside the
he's
groups
trying to
now.
replace the communities with? Do you know what he's? It's that X chat, the separate app. He's talking about increasing 500 to 1,000 people in a group chat. Are you crazy? It's not. No, I don't like 50 people in a group chat. It's
So
not functional.
basically, okay, so it's just a group. Okay. So if you look at it like a Facebook group, then it's basically just that's what the group chat is, right?
I
I'm
haven't
making
seen
that
it,
thought right now
but
because we didn't think about that before, because Messenger is separated from Facebook, or the X chat is, you have these group chats, right? But if you think about it just like a feed inside of X or Facebook, it's
if it
I
looks
can
like
see what he's saying, but I don't know why he's separating it. That's my point. Like,
yeah,
why?
if it looks like the DMs that we have on the platform, that's not going to work. It's
Yeah. Yeah, and then all dings every time someone puts a new. Yeah, I don't get dinged every. I mean, I
yeah,
guess you
nobody
get
wants that.
notifications when you make a post and everything, but I don't get dings. Anyway, it's a big
Yeah,
mess, and we can see that things are changing rapidly on every platform. It seems like, and
yeah.
it's almost too rapid for them to keep up with, and we can't keep up with it either. And so I encourage everybody to go to more in-person events. That's why I'm trying to start more. I'll be able to have vendors there even, but then on top of that, just go to these, like, your local events. Like yesterday, I did a review on this. I think you hit like on the thumbnail or something. The autism awareness and acceptance,
Yeah,
I think was how it was. But that was a pretty cool event,
it
and
is.
a lot of people didn't know about it. They're like, well, yeah, you gotta get out there, get out into your local
Yeah.
community. All right, well, let's get out of here. Let's get. Speaking of getting out there, well, let's get out there and enjoy the rest of our day. It actually isn't raining, so I might mow a little bit while I have some time.
Well,
But I am going to head over to Rumble Premium. I need to get that half hour finished. But Tala, obviously, you don't
yeah.
have to hang out with me. But you guys, everybody, hit the like button if you haven't done so. Go follow Tala on the Rumble. Go check her out on X and Facebook. Hey, what's up, Elisa? A lot of people
Substack.
use their group chat to increase their engagement by getting people in there and sharing it to them. Yeah, I've seen that. The ones that, and I do that, but not the way you're talking about, where there's group chats that no one can comment in except for the person's group chat, and that's all, like, the big creators who are not going to have a conversation back and forth, but they have a group chat where you can be in there and you can react to the stuff they're posting. I have a group myself that is just so I can do at everyone, and so only I can post into it. So it's kind of similar, but anyway. What's up, Elisa May? Getting people in there. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna head over to Rumble Premium, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Central Time for people in the boxes. We're gonna talk volunteering. April is National Volunteering Month, or Volunteer Month, and so we're gonna talk volunteering. You know what we didn't talk about today at all, Tala? Not even one bit. Was the tornadoes and the storming. Like, that was like the whole background. That was like the main, like the whole thing. Gosh, I mean,
It came
we
in
got like
like a storm.
yeah, well, we got like 5 minutes. Give us like a couple minutes here so we can at least look at I don't know, tornado damage, tornado. Let's see, April 2026. I'm not sure if that's going to be a quick way to do this. I'm Cat. sent me some footage. What? That doesn't look like a tornado. This guy scromiting over here. What the hell is happening right now? That is
Not that again.
what
Let me
you
check my
see
buddy Storm Chasers.
at the. Whoa. Okay, here we go. April 25th.
He's got some stuff on his page.
Day
I don't
number
know if you
3.
follow him. He's the one that I did the modeling for on his merch. Live Storm Chasers. You grab the link so that you can go to his page if you don't know him.
This looks like we're Texas, no, that's not. Is that still in Texas? That's right, but it's Oklahoma, some of Texas. Looks like that's where it was. Where extreme instability later this afternoon, evening. Supercells with
21
large
minutes
hail.
ago. Breaking, the National Weather Service confirms an EF3 tornado hit Mineral Wells, Texas.
Did you send it to me on Facebook? I got it.
I sent you in Messenger. I sent you his page. Going
Okay.
green, just incredible color. Ooh, pull that up. That was 58 minutes ago. It's the second post on his page. Gorgeous photos.
Oh wow.
There you go.
Going green, just incredible color and structure on this confirmed tornado warned supercell west of Sycamore, Kansas. Sunday.
Wow, softball size hail 16 hours ago. This is the guy that I did the merchandise modeling for his website, the hats and shirts.
Yeah, they were talking about canceling school and stuff Monday, Elisa. Yeah, we didn't. I don't think we even had any tornadoes in Illinois, but we might have that day. We had a bunch this year, but not that day. It was supposed to be really bad. It was a bad storm, but power didn't go out or anything. So I guess thank God. But yeah, that is wicked. The colors on this.
Yeah, I love those. Look, for people who haven't experienced it, they don't know, but the tornado that we had when we lived out in Bannon, I was across town at the store and going on the overpass and looked towards home, which is to the east. And I knew there was a storm, and I thought, I left the windows open a little bit at home because we had screens. And then I saw the sky turning green, and I was like, oh, because I lived in Oklahoma. I know what that means.
Right.
That's almost turquoise. That's amazing.
It's funny. Oklahoma has a lot of tornadoes, but like for some reason Illinois has a lot too. Such a weird, maybe coming up from Oklahoma, maybe, but
Tornado Alley.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a swath.
Diane says a Dutch teenager has been euthanized 4 years after receiving an autism diagnosis. He was high functioning, but instead of receiving proper support to cope and build a meaningful life, etc., they did that. That's pretty messed up. I know some countries they boast about having no Down syndrome and no autism and things like that, and that's because they do things like euthanasia or euthanizing them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going in circles here, but yeah, that was
Amazing
a
photos.
lot
Look at
of the
that.
hail damage.
Yeah. Softball
So,
size.
so let me see if I can get this video from Kat. I know we're way over, guys, but this is kind of the main reason I wanted to, like the biggest topic I had to talk
Missouri.
about. Okay. This is a video she sent me of the
Wow.
tornado damage. If you guys can see that. It's as big as it'll go.
Tornado tore through mineral wells, leaving behind damage, injuries, and a silence that only comes after something powerful passes.
Okay. A lot of houses still standing. Isn't that crazy how they it just sort of
Selective, yeah.
Yeah, so it just sort of hits and misses. Like my grandma had a tornado go right by her house and took out all the houses across the street, but not hers. Years
I had a
ago.
friend who used to live in Kansas, and he didn't have indoor plumbing. This is someone I knew like 20 years ago, maybe. And when he came out, His house was gone. All he had was an outhouse. A tornado came through. He didn't even know, and just the house was gone.
Wow.
Yeah,
Can
like
you imagine getting carried away in the
what was I
outhouse?
gonna say? Well, shit,
Could you imagine getting carried away in the
literally.
outhouse, like Jackass style? You know, when they launch them.
But that's
Got
all he had. Yeah. I mean, imagine just like, well, now what do I do?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know they're gonna do a Jackass 5?
Oh, jeez.
Like they're just gonna kill them. So, like they're not gonna
There's
be
enough of
satisfied
those,
until someone dies on the filming of one of those
right?
movies. This is
Yeah.
well, that's more devastating here. All over that way. I
Yeah.
don't know what that is, but it's not the residential area. It looks like the business area, but
Still,
wow.
none of these, have measured up to what the Moore monster did. That was Moore, Oklahoma has really been hammered a couple of times. I remember watching that, the aftermath of that on television. I think it was when I still lived up north. Um,
Oklahoma. You think this year? You mean
no,
just in general?
like when I lived up north, we left there in 2003, so it was early 2000s. There was one, I call it the Moore monster because it was not only such a large tornado, not only so powerful, but it was large. The base of it was large, and it moved slowly, so it just ground everything up in its path. It was devastating. Moore was flattened.
This says at least 2 injured, which that sounds like a miracle. If it's
Yeah,
only a few people injured,
yeah.
oh, that's just a screenshot, I guess. All right. Well, that is going on right now, and I don't think it's going to end just yet because I know we got rain for the next week in our
Spring.
forecast. So maybe
Yeah.
not where you're
This
at,
is
but
tornado season. It's spring.
like let me look at it right now. It says today
We had some rain.
we got sun today, rain tomorrow, and then next week Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all rain. 75%,
Monday
85%.
and Tuesday. Yeah, just Monday and Tuesday here.
Hmm.
And
Well,
it's weird because like we had the triple digits, so I thought, oh boy, brace for it. It's coming in early, and then all of a sudden the temperatures crashed again. Like
mhm.
I don't even know what's going on. But
Well,
I'm
stay
happy
safe,
because I
everybody.
don't like those triple digits.
Right. Yeah, I guess that would be nice for people in the hotter climates, but either way, stay safe when it does hit the heat. The heat will come back at you with a vengeance eventually.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys all later. Tala, have a good weekend. And of course, we'll see everybody tomorrow night on People in the Boxes. So I might do a live at some point in a little bit, maybe an hour or two when I go over to the warehouse to do a little test live stream. I might just do a quick live there to see how it goes. Otherwise, we will talk to you all later. I'm going to head over to Rumble Premium right now. Tala, if you got anything, give it to them. Tell them. Tell the people
Oh,
what's up.
check out my Substack. My Substack is where my best content is.
I didn't make us an outro yet, but I tell you what, we didn't even talk about the damn logos. That'd be another half an hour conversation. But I do have a couple I want to show you. Maybe we could do that in the premium here in a second. But we'll head over there, and I need to finish making an outro. But here's another one. Here's my regular outro, guys. We'll see you guys later. Thanks again. Hit the like button. We'll be on Rumble or Premium in just a minute. Thanks. Bye.
The end of farmer, rocking the live show scene.